Production, I officially hate Love Island production because what the actual fuck? Not you guys giving Rob space to defend himself and making Leah feel bad. Excuse me?
No, that was a choice. That was a weird choice. I didn't expect the episode to end on,
Bizarre.
and very bizarre. It was also confusing because it felt like it was rewriting history. Because
Yep.
as we know, we watched that live and
Mm-hmm.
we thought it was funny. And
I thought Rob was being ridiculous. I was like, what is
yes.
this big ass man doing crying when he has no reason to cry? I felt like Leah's reaction was 100% valid.
Plus, this was right
Um,
after, this wasn't even right after him crying. This was right after he blindsided her at the
yes.
recoupling and was like, oh, so sorry. And then walked over to be up there with Andrea. So, like,
Mm-hmm.
it sounds
And then
like, I
in
don't know.
and then in trying to explain it to her, she's upset with him, confronts him, and instead of like hearing her, he cries and makes it about him.
But he did that
Listen,
even before the recoupling. That was when he was just deciding between Andrea and Leah. He was just so sad, and she didn't ask him how
oh, how he
he
was doing.
felt when he was choosing between her or
Bro, I was
Andrea.
like,
Oh, so you
there's
get the
no
ick when someone
way.
cries? Is that what it is? You get ick when someone cries? Clearly he was scared he was gonna hurt one of you.
Movie night kind of sucked.
Well,
This
it's
is
not
what this is
over.
It's not over, but so far it sucked. And maybe that's why they made it 2 episodes. Because I was like, hold on,
Yeah.
y'all got all these viewers. You need to give us something. Top three tweets with the hashtag Love Island. The
LOL.
first one. No, because Love Island USA producers, what the fuck y'all got against Leah? Why is movie night all about her when all this beef is old news? And if Miguel switches up on her after all this, pack your bags. And then someone else said, Rob is not a victim. Love Island producers, you will pay. And
Not you will
then
pay.
somebody's talking about UK, so I don't know. So yeah,
Yeah, that's pretty much
those
that's
were the
the
top
weird
two.
part because I don't know because they also confused me with some of the tweets they chose for the
The
social media
game.
challenge. I
Did
think they
you
were
write them
trying to
all
make it
down or should
even. Well, funny enough, I
Mhm.
actually because I was like this is too much to write down. So in the
It's probably
notes
online.
section of your phone, you can take a picture and insert it. So anytime there was a question, I just took a picture.
Oh, that's smart.
So
Do you
the
have the
and
answers?
I did put the answers. I put what they said and what the actual answer is.
Look at you. Okay, I was about to say next time. I think what this is stuff is Googleable, but
Probably, but
love the foresight. Look at you
I
on top of
try.
it.
I will say ahead of time, I did not write the questions for the movie night because I
I
kind of
didn't
didn't
either.
care. I was just like,
No,
I
I didn't
just want
care.
to talk about the clips.
I was like, if it's a good question, I'll write it down, and none of them were that good to write down.
No, they were just like random, like, how often do women fake orgasms? It's like, haha.
Yeah.
And then that was funny though when the men won and Aaron was like, that's nothing to celebrate. And I'm like, it's not.
Oh, I didn't think about that. That's kind of funny.
Uh,
But yeah, we're gonna get into it, y'all. But
we
welcome to the
are.
shade of it
Oh,
all.
yes. Hello, y'all. Welcome to the State of It All. I'm Brandon.
I'm Magdala. I have a quick little life update,
She does.
because I
Before we
think
get
it's
into Love
funny.
Island, Maggie,
It'll take 2 minutes, I promise. I'm not gonna linger on this. So a couple episodes back, this was like 6 weeks ago. This happened on June 1st, and it was the podcast after June 1st. So there have been many since then. You may not have heard, but I went on vacation to Jamaica and I fell down, I hurt myself, and I couldn't walk for a couple days. Finally got an X-ray. Don't judge me. It took a while. Partly my fault, but mostly not my fault, I feel. Finally got an X-ray yesterday. Turns out I broke one of my toes and I have something called sesamoiditis, where
ooh,
like the ligament underneath your big toe is like strained. And so like because like lately it hurts to walk, it hurts to I don't run, but well, I can't run because my feet hurt. So like it hurts all the time. And so basically now I have to wear these like funky insoles. I can't work out with Brandon anymore. We usually work out like at least 5 days a week. Well, I can work out, but I have to like keep my feet flat on the ground. So
You can only do like
only
the
do so much.
strength days.
Yeah, and then if I do any lower body exercises, really just squats. But isn't it wild that I had a whole broken bone and didn't know?
It is. When you told me that, I was like, a broken pinky toe? What do you mean? Is it your pinky toe? Is your pinky toe, right?
Yeah, it's the smallest one, which is also probably why I didn't notice. Because after I got hurt, my toe did look a little funky, and I was like, "Ooh, maybe I broke it." But then a couple days later, I was all right, and it was swollen. But like, I mean, you don't really use the smallest toe. Um,
True.
the doctor was like, "So does your toe hurt?" And I was like, "Yeah, it did, but not anymore. It's mostly like this midsection." He is like, "Well, you broke it." And I was like, "What?"
Huh?
Brandon, you know how a book looks, like the bind of a book looks?
Yeah.
And then like when you open it, the bind is still there, but like the book is open.
Yeah.
That's kind of how my toe, like that's how I almost broke it like all the way through,
Oh
basically, is
my
what I'm.
gosh.
So like you know how you open a book, but it's still attached? Like I got a little piece attached, but
Oh
most of the
no.
bone is broken.
That's
It's a small bone,
crazy.
so I guess it's not that big of a break. But yeah, I broke my whole toe and didn't know. It's healing fine. The not exercising and stuff is because of the sesamoiditis or turf's toe, as some call. He was like, "Have you heard of turf's toe?" And I was like, "No." He's like, "Football players get it." I was like, "Okay, I'm not a football player." Anyway, that's my life update.
Poor Maggie, she has to wear insoles now.
Yeah, and they're like they're supposed to keep my feet flat. He told me don't sleep in them, and I was like, that was an option to sleep in them? That's
I know, right?
crazy.
I wouldn't think because they go in your shoe and you don't sleep with shoes.
Yeah, but he said it could last 3 to 6 months, so I have to take this seriously.
Oh no. Well,
Yeah.
what's funny is, it's gonna take a month. Wasn't it like a month for you to wear it before you can do like the exercises or stuff
Well, he
again?
said wear the insoles for a month. If it doesn't get better, I have to get an MRI.
Okay.
So the goal is to hopefully get better so I don't have to do more things.
True
We'll
that.
see.
But if it does cure in a month, that's kind of funny because you waited a month to get an X-ray.
Brandon,
So
I waited like a month and a
you could have
half.
been fully healed by now, probably.
Y'all know what's crazy? I really feel like they were trying to scam me for some insurance money because I went to the doctor like 2 weeks ago for something wrong with my other foot. And I just was going to include that, like, hey, I hurt myself, because the thing on my other foot is very minor.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, you have to make a whole new appointment. I think they were just trying to get my insurance money, get another co-payment out of
I
me. Because
mean,
I was like, really?
probably.
Like, it's not
I
that
feel
deep.
like you're
Granted, it was
looking
a
at the
really busy
foot.
day. That's what I'm saying. Like, just look at the other one real quick. But anyway.
Mm.
I digress because Love Island was a Love Islanding this week.
It was in like Maggie's pinky toe may have left the villa, but the drama did not. It only these all three episodes
Oh,
were just
I
a
mean,
journey.
yeah, I was gonna say I didn't really enjoy these
Oh
as
no.
much. Not that they were bad, but like compared to what we just had. Great, wait, hold on. I'm not thinking about the Serena and Kordell of it all. 24 was the best piece of reality TV I've ever seen. 25 and 26, I was like, yeah.
24, yes, because well, yeah, because 24
24 and maybe the
ended
start of
with the
25.
Serena and Cordell, the doc scene. That
Mm-hmm.
was amazing television. Serena is
Amazing.
providing in so many ways,
She is. She's just a gift to
and
us all.
she is, and I love her. She does it all 90% of the time with a bow in her hair, and I think that's amazing.
Did you say 90% ironically?
90% of the time with a bow in her hair.
Right, but did you say 90% ironically? Because
Oh.
she got in trouble for nine or not she. Leah got in trouble
Oh
for
shit, that must
90.
have been subconscious. Wait, because I completely that slipped my mind.
I had a
Um,
feeling you were just saying it for fun, and I was like, wait a minute, Brandon. There's a
Maybe now
pun
I
in here.
understand Leah making it up, even though she did. Here's the thing, we'll get into
She made
that, but like
Brandon, no, she completely made it up.
she made it up, but like Miguel did say 90-10, but no one
Did he?
remembered. He did, but he didn't say it the
I
way
didn't.
she took it.
I have a different thought, but we'll get into it.
But then she
Let's
confused me
get
because she
into
said
it.
Kordell, but let's get into it. Yeah, like you said. All right. So episode 24, it's the aftermath of the infamous fire ceremony return from Casa Amor
Mm-hmm.
journey. And
Mm-hmm.
basically everyone's in shambles. Everyone's
Mm-hmm.
dispersing around the villa. They're going crazy. JaNa's crying. She feels embarrassed. She's sick of
Mm-hmm.
taking L's. I get it. Nicole says she's proud of Serena, as we all are, because Serena
Mm-hmm.
truly made that ceremony. Like she put the cherry on top, you know?
Yeah.
And then Aaron tries to comfort JaNa and say there's
Which
so much they haven't seen. And I'm
I
like,
felt like that was
exactly.
bizarre. That too. But like, how are you comforting JaNa first before Kaylor? Like, you really don't like Kaylor. I
I don't
think these
know.
3 episodes show us how much Aaron does not care for Kaylor. Like, how did you rush over to hug JaNa first?
I
Unless he
I
did hug Kaylor and we didn't see it.
maybe. I feel like Aaron doesn't know that they were filmed. I'm like really
Brandon, I don't think Aaron knows he's on Love Island, actually.
no, and I've heard some podcasts say that they're like, did you watch the show before? Like they're gonna show you in Casa Amor because the way he's acting, because when he says like there's so much y'all haven't seen, and it's like yeah, and they're freaking out about this little bit. Imagine what they haven't seen, which we'll slowly see more of with movie night and everything.
Yeah.
But like, you're not, I don't like, do you, because they keep also saying, like, this is a common theme, like, they talked about y'all nonstop. Da 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 da. That's even
Mm.
worse. You talked about me
Yeah.
and still brought someone else back?
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
can't. That was too
As
much.
Serena will elegantly point out, you did something and then continue to do it. Like there's no excuse, I feel. But yeah, I don't know. Aaron and his buck teeth can go somewhere. He doesn't have buck teeth, but his resting face shows his front 2 teeth,
They
and it
do.
looks
He's a mouth breather.
he is.
He's just like, who's that kid on what's that show? Hey Arnold. It's always like,
Oh,
and then
what's
Helga's
his
like,
name?
bam. Someone needs to just do that
Um,
to Aaron.
I
Bam.
want to say Ernie, but I know it's not Ernie. I know who you're talking about though. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
I think he never talks. I think he just breathes
Oh, I
when
think
he
I just did
shows
the
up.
face perfectly. Did you see?
Oh, Maggie, are you
Am
them?
I am I Aaron?
Are you Aaron? Oh my gosh, this is crazy.
Those on YouTube can enjoy the facial expressions, but we'll
She
continue.
really sold that. I thought I was in a scene of Love Island.
Thanks,
Um,
Brandon.
the Casa girls stay at the fire and they're like, oh my gosh, they're so mean. Are they
Bro.
always like this? And I'm like, welcome to the villa. Because the thing about
Yeah.
them, they're not mean, but they're messy and amazing. And we love our OGs. Because as we will see, so do their men. Slowly
Right.
but
And
surely.
I think it's I mean, yes, there was a lot of drama and dramatics, but like you can't just come in and start saying stuff. You guys literally don't know what you're talking about because you were in Casa. You didn't see what they were going through. And I really feel like the Casa girls only saw probably they had a couple episodes missing. They weren't up to date on everything that was happening. I don't believe that.
They weren't. Side note, Sydney Sweeney, she was on the Vile Files. Did you see?
Recently?
Yeah, just this past week.
No, what'd she say?
I mean, she kept saying the
Nothing.
thing like Kenny and Catherine, like, oh, love triangle. And then I found out he was saying all the same things about me, like, with like, what are your goals and all that. And we talked about that last time. We were like, it's like the
Stupid.
most basic questions. Um,
Yeah.
there was some stuff. I think she confirmed that Cordell and Aaron were a lot messier than was even shown.
Okay.
And basically the thing in the after sun where after Kaylor yelled, immediately Rob and Aaron had their chat about Rob um
Oh.
wanting to like, or Aaron wanting to be like, oh no, I can't do this, and then him being like, you should talk to Daniela, to Aaron, or
Yeah.
Aaron saying that to her. I have their names so confused because they are
It's
like,
fine. It's fine.
they look like each name should be the
Yeah.
others, and they're just so stupid. Um, but and I don't think she said too much else. I don't think. No, she keeps saying she's like, she likes Serena, but she's Team Daia because Serena
Of
was
course.
wishy-washy with Cordell. And I'm
That's not
like,
why. That's not why. It's because you know Daia. But anyway,
that
continue.
part, which fair enough. But other than that, I mean, they hyped her up as if she was a great guest. She didn't spill that much tea, in my
I
opinion.
was
I
about
was
to say
like,
she was barely on Love Island. How much time did they give her on the Vial Files?
that part, someone had commented on the TikTok and was just like, this girl's clearly thirsty for TV. Like she was barely even on. And then he was like, she was an amazing guest. And I'm like, Nick, stop trying to act like you're fucking like on the beat, like reporter, like ABC Action News. Like I have all the tea. Like you have nothing.
Brandon hates
Uh,
the Vial. Well, Brandon hates Nick Vial,
I,
and I guess indirectly the Vial Files, but they do have good guests.
they do have good guests. I will watch for the guests, but you know, hate's a strong word. And sometimes it's accurate. And I would say so in this case.
I love you. You're the best.
Oh, Maggie, I love you too. Uh, Aaron tries to get Serena to talk to the girls, and she goes, I'm not speaking to them hoes. I'm like, damn. But
A
like,
whole mood.
a whole mood. He then tries to talk to Kaylor, and although she's like, stay away from me, her face is saying, follow me. She's like,
Literally,
stay away
Kaylor's
from me.
stay away, Aaron. And
Stop,
I'm like,
Aaron.
Kaylor.
Aaron, don't. No,
Mm.
like I hate you now. No, stop. Don't follow me. Like, okay, Kaylor. I
Mm.
thought, I was like, I knew Kaylor would fold, but I at least thought she would last an episode.
Yeah, I thought she would last how long? Maybe half a day.
I
But
didn't
this
think it
is
would be before
immediate.
the commercial break.
Bro,
That
Kaylor
was
was
crazy.
instantly like, "Oh my gosh." I think though there was a lot of things going on. I think that she was very relieved to see him alone. Had he
Yeah,
walked in with
she
someone else, I
was.
think she would have been way more devastated, like
That
Serena.
definitely softened the blow because when she saw he was alone, she like you could see her face. She was so excited. But then she
Yeah.
still went in on him, but then
Yeah.
folded.
Yeah.
Um,
She was like, I rehearsed a speech. I gotta say it.
and I spent every night thinking about you with the mosquitoes. And Kendall said that's not Kaylor. And I, ever since I was just comparing myself to her, it's not funny. Uh,
Why
and
do you do impressions so well?
oh my God, thank you so much. She does that about 8 times in the span of these 3 episodes, by the way.
So I watched this episode with Astra and she was
Oh,
like, "Oh
what is
my
she
gosh, why is that?"
thinking?
So our friend Astra, the one I whose birthday I was trying to spend with her yesterday, she was like, "I saw the clip of Serena on Love Island. Let's watch Love Island." So we watched and she's like, oh, these are her first impressions of Kaylor. She's like, "Oh my gosh, her voice is so annoying. Why does she cry like that? Like her whining, like crying voice is so annoying." And like every time Kaylor came on screen, she was like, "Oh my gosh, not this again." Like I kind of got used to it, but Taylor kind of does a lot.
No,
I
no
love her,
chill.
but she
She
does a
does it
lot.
like 3 times at movie night alone. Like it's just too much.
And I
Rob and Miguel try to talk to Serena and try to say that Cordell was talking about her nonstop. And I'm like, well, I don't, that's again, like I said earlier, that's like the common thing that they keep
Yeah.
telling the girls. Like they were talking about you nonstop while they were making out with the girls. They were just like, oh my gosh, da da da. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know why they think that makes it better.
Yeah. And then Rob even doubles down. He's like, "Oh, I didn't know about the dry humping and stuff. I didn't see that. But she was talking about you." And it's like, Rob, then you don't know the full story. So be quiet.
Yeah.
Also, you were doing all of that eye rolling just to go and try to comfort Serena. Stand on business, Rob. You're so fake. But you want to get mad at Leah for having reactions. Get out of here.
I hate him and his eye roll. I agree with everything Leah said at the end. Anyways, but she starts to cry and says how she opened up to him before he left. Um and then Leah tells Kenny and Kordell the girls feel dumb because they were so considerate. And it's basically like, look at how many guys stayed versus how many girls stayed. Like it makes you not want to trust anyone.
Hmm.
But she does say she feels for JaNa, but feels like their situations were so fresh. So it's kind of like not a big deal that Kenny and Miguel brought someone.
Yeah.
And I can agree to an extent. I think was JaNa being dramatic and giving a
Yes.
performance? Yes. Did we appreciate it? Yes.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think it was also probably, I wonder if it was fueled. Let me know what you think. I wonder if it was fueled also by all the other girls being like, fuck these guys, they're not faithful, they're just having a time in Casa. Like, I feel like that kind of heightened her feelings a little bit. You know what I mean? Because,
Yeah.
and then also, her feelings are her feelings. So if that's how she felt, it's whatever. Just because Leah spent 2 days with a guy and didn't feel badly about him coming back doesn't mean JaNa can't.
Right. And I think it was added to because she didn't get a message or a video like Kaylor and Serena. So she probably took that as like, okay, Kenny's not doing anything bad. He's not going to bring
Mm,
anyone back. And then
mm-hmm.
she was like, I have my love triangle, but I'm all about Kenny, Kenny, Kenny.
Yeah.
And then he rolled up with confused Catherine. And she was just like, what the actual fuck? And I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
honestly, it'd be
And
like that. I get it. I would
I
pull
get
the
it.
dramatics like that. I would be Janae.
Especially because she's been rejected by, I don't want to count, maybe 5 guys now
That's the
she's been coupled up
thing.
with. So I think that heightened it as well.
It did. So she was
Yeah.
just in her fields and had a moment. I will say, not to jump too far ahead, I really like her and Kenny together.
Me too.
There's
Oh,
something
not you.
about them.
So you like Kenny now, Brandon?
I think I do.
Wow.
I don't like his clothes, but he seems
No.
nice.
Oh my gosh. It's like, Kenny, I know you know how to dress for work, but my gosh, what do you wear like to the club?
The announcer is funny. He always says like he looks like a history teacher or something like that. And I'm like, that was funny.
Yeah, he said something like Kenny has cracked the code and he knows that the best shirts have elbow pads in them.
I'm like, Kenny, where did you find these clothes? Uh, Leah gives Kordell shit for the video and says, you
Yeah.
left the realest bitch in here? And like, what were you thinking, Kordell? Like, what
Mm.
the fuck? Can I just say, okay, so Watch What Crappens, this podcast I listen to, they usually just do Bravo shows, but I follow them on Patreon and they're starting to do like bonus episodes for Love Island. One of
Hmm.
them, Ronnie, said that Leah talks as if she's in like the witness protection program because
Oh, like the muffled
it's
voice?
so low and delayed.
Oh.
And then they said when Kaylor cries and has one of her moments, it's always like that waitress at a like diner that's like going through it on her smoke break.
Every time you go outside, she's got a new story about her
Yes.
toxic man.
And then they did
This
say
is
about
very funny.
Kaylor that she's the friend that will never ask you about yourself, but will always complain about like a guy. And I'm
Oh
like,
my
that's
gosh, that's
very
so
accurate.
true.
That's
So
too
how's your
much.
day going? Yeah, he told me he loves me.
Yeah, so yeah, he told me he loves me, and it's just like I don't. The thing about Aaron is I don't know.
That's really funny. All of those observations. So my toxic trait is thinking my voice is as low as Leah's. I know it's not, but I really feel self-conscious sometimes.
Your voice is not as low as Lee.
I think I just needed to hear you say it.
I would say you don't have like a Daia voice, but you don't have like a Leah voice.
I don't
I
even
would say
remember
your
what
voice
Daia
is
sounds like.
like
Se-
Daia's just Daia's just like I just can't believe
Serena?
this, and it's just like what the fuck, and it's just like da, da, da. Daia doesn't open her mouth when she speaks. She's like always smiling when she speaks. It's
Oh no,
kind of
yeah.
weird.
I think
Um,
she prides herself on being very reserved and low key.
but you see the crazy, not
Oh yeah.
crazy, but by the end with her and Kordell, you
Yeah,
see
you
it.
see her she wants to get her lick back. She's got a little vengeance to
She's one
her.
of
She
those
wants
that acts like she's like zen and maybe like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm like namaste, like peace. But those are the
Right.
ones that are like, oh, you're low key probably worse than Serena. But, but you're not gonna let it show because you've changed.
And you're on you know you're on
Hmm.
TV.
I will say,
Yeah.
Daia, without the wig, I'm like, okay, Daia. Like, why were you
She
wearing
did
that
take her
wig?
wig off. Oh yeah, her afro is so nice. It's
I know.
very
I was like,
bouncy and like cute.
mm-hmm.
I didn't
Um,
even make that connection. That's how much I don't pay attention to damn.
I feel you. But Leah does say that they held the guys to too high of standards, which they really did.
Unfortunately, they
Um,
did.
Nicole and Kendall rejoice. Okay, so these episodes are the part of the programming where Kendall and Nicole have entered the Amy and Johnny from Love is Blind era,
Mm-hmm.
where they're very healthy, they're together, it's sweet,
Mm-hmm.
but it's very
Honeymoon.
boring, and I don't care
Mm-hmm.
about any of it. I'm like, cool.
Yeah, I think boring is not a bad word. I had to think about it for a second. Now, boring is pretty accurate.
I think they're front runners to win
Yeah.
the show
I
as of
mean,
right
if
now.
Kendall can maybe keep his mouth closed for an episode or two, fuck.
Well,
Maybe
that
they
part.
will win. Oh my gosh, she's so
Maybe.
annoying.
Yeah, because Nicole's great, but Kendall is just like, um,
She looks so embarrassed during movie night,
she did.
as
She was
she
like, Kendall,
should.
what the fuck?
What's wrong? And then he's like, and I was after a challenge. Now is not the time to defend yourself. All right.
Mm-mm. Kaylor and Aaron chat. He barely owns anything and gives
Yep.
surface level truth. Says, I kissed her a couple times, and then like I just started spiraling. I was just like, I can't do this, I can't do this. And we did cuddle, but barely. I'm like, I'm like, this is how he won the traders. And the reason
He's
he
a
was
good
able to win the
liar.
traders was because they can't roll the tapes back.
And see what he really said.
Yes. And then by
Yeah,
the time they watch it, he already won. So like it doesn't
right.
matter.
I heard him say, "Oh no, it was just." She was like, "Was it like a peck?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I guess later he confesses, but I was like, "Not a peck, Aaron. You actually never pecked Daniela."
No, it was like you pecked her foot, but not her like face.
No, no, no,
As
no.
we'll see in movie night, which I forgot how intense their makeout was.
I don't think they let us see how long it was. It was so long.
No, they didn't. Kaylor feels stupid and says that although they were open, she didn't do what he did. She says she's just hurt. He apologizes for not being stronger. Ultimately, she folds and says she knows he doesn't mean to hurt her. And then this is where I wrote, please get Serena to get you together. Because
Seriously.
Serena is like the epitome of like making him. I was listening to She's Speaking with Emily Hanks before this, and she was like, Kaylor needs to talk to Serena too, because like Serena is actually making, and JaNa, because they're making their men fight for it and like
Mm-hmm.
actually own it. Whereas Kaylor's
Mm-hmm.
like folding completely.
She just folds. And then like I feel like she's not remembering how mad he was when she kissed someone during a game. I think it was she kissed Kendall during a game or something.
Hmm.
And I was like, Kaylor, like, remember the double standard. Remember why you were initially like annoyed with him. Like, he has double standards. Yes, you guys are open, but he can't hold you to doing something that he's not willing to do himself. That's really messed up and controlling.
She often forgets things, forgets
Yeah.
questions to ask, and always
Yep.
goes to the wrong person first. Like,
Mm-hmm.
instead of going straight to Daniela, she'll go to Aaron, then she'll go to Rob, and then
Mm.
she'll finally go to Daniela, who, like, has the memory of a goldfish.
I wouldn't necessarily go to Daniela first, but I don't know why she's going to Rob. Granted, she doesn't know what we know, so it does kind of make sense. And Rob is like his best mate, but like, no, it's really terrible. Aaron is like, I thought that he would be emotional. Again, I like we've seen this man cry more times than most of the girls, excluding Kaylor. Aaron cries equivalent to everybody else.
Yeah.
And he is not shedding a tear. He is not remorseful. He's just like annoyed that she's mad. And that's really the worst way to be. When someone is upset with you, you need to just own it. And like
Yeah.
it just makes it seem like you're not remorseful because you have that stance.
Yeah, no, he gets very defensive and like a little kid, like, oh, what do you mean? I'm sorry. I said I'm sorry. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I'm not,
What do you want me
I
to do?
can't.
And it's like, okay, but you shutting down is not helpful. You need
Yeah.
to own it and hear her out, let her complain, and apologize and see what happens, you know?
Yeah. Do you think he's just getting annoyed with Kaylor because Kaylor keeps going back and forth? But Kaylor does keep learning new information. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's not helpful. She gave you space to tell her the truth, so you're being stupid.
You should have
Aaron's
just
always
been,
wrong.
had he just been completely honest up front, she probably would have gotten over it. And
Yeah, like
like,
I feel like Kordell, when he does finally talk, is very honest. We'll get there though.
yes, we will. Liv and Kaylor chat. She confides in her about the conversation with Aaron and says as much as she wants to be done, she can't. Says they should introduce themselves to the new girls, and Liv goes, they know who I am. Why would I do that?
I know that's right.
And I'm like, period. But they do, and it's like nice or whatever.
Taylor's like, huh? I don't really know why she wanted to do that. Maybe she wanted to, I don't, I think maybe she's just being friendly. But I was like, this is
Maybe.
different, but it's not a bad thing to do. I mean, it's
It's
not their fault
not.
that they're there. It's the
It's
guy's fault that they're there.
this is true. It's the nice southern thing to do, I suppose.
Oh yeah.
But I did appreciate how the others were just like, no. They're like,
I'm
I'm not
not talking
talking
to
to them.
I'm not
Uh,
talking to those hoes. I was afraid they were gonna show Serena saying that at movie night. Thankfully they didn't. She's from the South. She lives in Pennsylvania. PA is Pennsylvania, right?
yeah. Why do I think, does she have a southern accent?
She 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 was oh, she said small town. Maybe we assumed it was in the South.
Maybe we did. I just feel like she always sounds southern to me, but I guess she doesn't. I knew
Yeah.
Pennsylvania too. I'm stupid. But she just gives like wannabe Southern Belle.
Oh
Like with
yeah,
the big
definitely.
blonde hair. She always wears a dress that's either like looks like a nightgown or like Renaissance. And I'm like, I don't know.
So someone was a Southern Belle though.
I think it was funny enough,
Oh,
Serena.
it is Serena.
Which,
Look, look, she's from, oh, because she's from Houston, was raised as a Southern belle, complete with her own horse. I know that's right, Queen.
period. We love you, Serena.
We love
You're
you,
our Southern
Serena.
Belle. Daniela keeps saying the girls are so mean. And the Casa girls just really try to act like they're above it all. And
They're
I'm
like,
like,
yeah, that was really uncalled for. Yeah. Yeah. It's like, okay, well, you weren't here. So anyway.
anyways, B string. Um, Leah and Serena chat, and Leah says, seeing someone have that much respect for themselves and stand on business is so inspiring. Serena's still
Hmm.
hurting, but Leah says Cordell's regretting it. And I'm like, it is. Seeing Serena stand up for herself like that really was a lesson in
Hmm.
how to like stand your ground and really like own your feelings. I
Oh yeah,
thought,
she should lead a master class on how to argue with somebody, how to win an
mhm,
argument.
right.
And then during this, like Kordell is saying, like, man, I fucked up. Like instantly he's regretful.
He is. He's like,
Like when
maybe I
Leah
shouldn't have
first
brought
talked to
her.
them, he was yeah. And so I'm like, okay, at least he hears it, but yeah, we'll move on.
Mm. Cordell and Daia chat, and he tries to reassure her that he's not ignoring her, but needs to clarify things with Serena. And she feels like the theatrics were a lot and feels disrespected. And he says he deserved it, and he's giving Daia kind of like nothing. He looks like he's going through it,
Yeah.
which is, I felt a little bad, but not really.
For Kordell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not completely, but just slightly, because you could tell he was just like hurting, but also like he deserved it. So it was like,
Yeah. And like it's I feel like his attitude probably in Casa was like, I deserve this. We deserve this. But now he's not saying it back anymore. Now he's like, fuck, I don't think I deserve this.
yeah.
Because that's what she was telling him all throughout Casa.
Yeah, and then Daya was just like taking it personally, I guess what Serena was saying, and I was just like, she's not really talking to you. She's talking to like him. Because she was like, I
Yeah.
don't let people disrespect me like this. And I'm like,
Oh, she said that like to him?
I think she did say that to him about like what Serena did. And I was like,
Oh, maybe saying that he shouldn't let her disrespect him.
maybe. Or I guess she,
Yeah.
I mean, I could imagine the Casa girls are feeling embarrassed, like
Mm-hmm.
at least indirectly when the
Mm-hmm.
OGs were coming for the guys, because at the end of the day, they're coming at them for getting with the Casa girls. So, like,
Right.
but Kendall apologizes to Kaylor, and so does Rob, and they just try to say the whole like Aaron felt so bad,
Mm-hmm.
the same old spiel. But JaNa and
Mm-hmm.
Kenny chat and give a young and the beautiful, or like bold and the beautiful.
Oh,
Like, Kenny,
yes.
why would you bring her? Why would you bring Catherine? I don't. Like, I wouldn't. I was thinking about you this whole time. Like, I was, but not enough. I care about you enough to be there single, and you didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like,
And
I
he was
can't
like, "You
do
didn't
this.
see me tearing up there?
No,
I
I
was
couldn't look at you.
heartbroken."
I couldn't look at you. And then she's like, if I will not fight with another girl for a guy, I know my worth. So if you can't decide, I will decide for you. Okay, Kenny, I can't do this. Like, give me a hug. I wish you the best. Give me a hug. I wish you the best. Yeah. She just walks away.
Oh, Janae.
Janae,
I love
Janae.
you, but you're the drama of it all.
She is. You
A lot less
know,
theatrical than Rob, but still a bit like Janae. But I mean, to her, it makes sense because I guess she also communicated to Kenny that, like, yo, these guys have not been giving me the time of day. I kind of feel like she's like upset because she's been in the villa and hasn't had any luck. So, like, her feelings make sense.
yeah.
This conversation was just like, I don't 100% agree with her, but I understand why she feels like that.
Yeah. She's just very much in her feels. And it's
Mm-hmm.
just like, I'm not
Also,
doing this again.
right. And also, Kenny can't even give a good reason why he brought Catherine in the
That's the
first
thing
place.
too. Like,
So it's like you just brought her for no reason, Kenny. Come on.
I did it to test us. I'm like, what? What do you
Y'all have been
mean?
listening to Kendall too damn much. He's like, yeah,
Yes.
test. It's a test. It's a test. Time
Notice
to
who's
test.
not testing. Kendall.
Kendall.
So if someone's giving advice they're not taking, maybe in this situation, don't follow it.
Right.
But I
Because
can't.
I bet, though, if Kendall did see a girl in Casa who was really feeling him, he probably would have gone for her. I would not be surprised at
Probably.
all.
If there was someone really that was like catching his eye and like giving him the time of day, he probably would.
Mm-hmm.
But Kenny does break down. I liked this is where I was really liking Kenny because he breaks down to Leah and Serena. He's just like
Mm-hmm.
holding his heart, crying. He's like, you know, she's leaving. And they're like, Kenny.
I was like, damn, this is pitiful.
It is. But then Leah's like,
Poor
this isn't
Kenny.
fair. They only talk for 2 days. No, this isn't right. And then
Yeah.
he's in his like confessional and he's like, I hurt her and I didn't want to. I'm like,
Yeah,
I love this. This is so captivating, and I need
it
Kenny and
is.
Janae to win now.
No, low key. Like, I actually feel like Kenny is the only guy who took the time to like listen to what their girl had to say and actually sit there and be like, damn, okay, maybe I did do something wrong, you know? Like,
Hmm.
I feel like he kind of took not responsibility, but he at least sat with his feelings for a second to be like, oh my gosh, I really hurt her right away. Um,
He did.
some people were mad about this though. Some people were like, oh, why is Leah talking bad about Janae? Leah never stands up for Janae. Leah never defends Janae, which isn't necessarily true. Well, Leah and Janae tend to be at odds with each other's behavior. I'll just say that much
They do.
because here Leah doesn't agree. Later, Janae doesn't agree, you know? But Serena was kind of just like, oh, Kenny, yeah, it's not. Leah says it's not fair. Serena's just like, yeah, she doesn't really like pick sides, but
Yeah.
Leah sometimes is like outwardly against Janae, and a lot of people on Twitter were like, oh my gosh, she never stands up for Janae. She's not a girl's girl. And I was like, really? I don't know.
It's like they both kind of have a thing. Because remember when like the thing happened with Rob and Leah kept talking about it, and like Janae would say to the guys, like, she's definitely not over Rob. She won't stop talking about him. Like they both
Yeah,
had their moments where they've been a little shady, but then Leah was shady with
towards
the
each
Connor
other.
stuff. But they always make
Yep.
up because they're besties and they're part of our favorite toxic trio. So that's just part of it.
Yeah, Serena's the friend that wants peace, and then JaNa and Leah are always like kind of beefing. Not big beef, but like kind of beefing.
Yeah. There has to be some
Hmm.
slight beef to like keep it interesting.
Yep.
Um, but it's the night's rounding out when Aaron tells Liv he knows he loves Kaylor, and she says then you have to prove it. Daia feels like
Hmm.
her feelings are being shit on by the girls. But you didn't care about
Oh, I thought
Serena's
she
feelings
meant
in
by
Casa.
that part. I thought she meant Kordell.
I thought she said by those bitches or something.
Oh, okay, okay.
I guess because the girls weren't talking to her.
Yeah, she like teared up for a second. I was like, not them not giving you airtime. Sorry, Daia.
Maybe next episode. Um, Aaron goes to sleep outside, but Kaylor just joins him.
Yeah, and they get physical, and I'm like, Kaylor,
Yeah.
in bed with him too? Damn, sis, stand on something.
You know, what's that thing Tyra said? No, someone on Top Model said it was like, if I don't stand for something, I'll fall for anything. And Kaylor
Basically,
falls.
Kaylor, for all of it.
But Janae sleeps outside by herself. Which was kind of funny, but I felt bad. Next day, everyone is recovering from the night before. Daia feels unwelcomed. And
Oh, Brandon, did you peep how Kordell was sleeping like a mummy? When he went to bed, he was like this, hands like in his
no,
lap, just sitting up straight. He did not, he looked like he wanted to be as far away from Day as possible, which made me think, like, do you have to sleep with the person that you're coupled with? Obviously, you can sleep outside or in another bed, but like, because you're coupled up with that person, do you have to sleep next to them?
I think so,
And you're
which
not
is
allowed to
like
sleep next to anyone else?
I guess because I was thinking that too, like in the later episodes when it's like the couples are really no longer what they
Mm-hmm.
were, but they're still like in the
Mm-hmm.
beds together, and like a lot of them are sleeping like that, where it's just like a distance and just like,
Yeah.
and I'm
Yeah,
like,
Cordell looked like
why can't they just
he
switch?
yeah, that's what I thought.
I don't know.
But yeah, he just looked like he did not want to be seen touching Daya or doing anything with Daya.
No, and that rings true for the rest of these episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And this is also the morning where Cordell has this idea to make breakfast for both Serena and Daia. And Kendall's like, that's a great idea. And that's what should have been his first and only sign that this is
They're
not
gonna
a good
watch this.
idea.
They're gonna watch this back and be like, damn, Kendall kind of advised us in the wrong direction all the time. He didn't know shit.
My thing is this, think a little bit. Okay, like clearly Serena does not want breakfast. She's not going to accept this breakfast. But also, maybe you don't want to give it to Daia in front of Serena. Why don't you wait
Right.
till they go downstairs?
Or something. I think part of it is he used to always bring Serena breakfast. So now that
Hmm.
he's back in the villa, he wants to bring her breakfast. But it's like, Cordell, you didn't speak to her last night. It's the next day. She read you to filth. She read you embarrassingly to filth. Read your whole life on national television, and you want to bring her breakfast and you think she's going to receive it? First, I have a little bit of shame. If somebody shamed me publicly like that, I might be a little teed off. I'm actually surprised that he just like kind of let it rock. Like he wasn't even he was immediately like apologetic, which is understandable because he did do something wrong, but
Hmm.
she ate him alive.
She did. Well, he was just like, even before that started, when they were walking up with Daia, he was just
He
like
was
looking
ashamed.
down. He knew.
Mm-hmm.
So it was
Yeah, he
just
knew he
like,
was wrong.
I don't know with him, but the breakfast at the
Yeah.
same time, and then Rob was helping him bring it. I'm like, y'all.
Rob was hesitating. He was like, "Do you need help? Okay, I'll help you." And
He's
then
like,
you
yeah,
see him
this is a
holding the
great
drinks
call. I'm like,
and Cordell
this.
holding the plates.
And
Yeah.
then he goes to give it, and Serena says right after the bat, "Get that away from me! Don't do that." And then he goes to do it anyway, and she so swiftly pushes it onto him. Now, when it happened, it was awkward. I was like, "Okay, Serena, maybe you didn't need to put the breakfast on him." But a part of me was like, maybe she didn't really mean to like flip it on him. She was just trying to push it away, and like it kind of just happened.
Oh no, she definitely meant it.
Nicole was just like, Serene.
Oh, is that who said Serena? I thought it
It
was Janae.
no, it was because Janae then he walks out. It was just awkward. And Janae is like, Good morning, Cordell. And then Serena, no, Leah's just
Leah.
like, Good morning, Cordell is crazy, Janae. And she's like, I like
Again,
that he's trying.
they always disagree, and it's so awkward because Day is there too. But yeah, Cordell, she told you not to do it, and you did it. Like people will let you know their boundaries up front because I remember she said like she's like, don't bring that shit over here. Like I don't want that shit. And he brought it. He was like, well, here's your breakfast, and like gave it to her anyway. So it's like you're not listening to her.
He should have just stood
So
there and been like, once she said that, been like, okay, are you sure? And then when she said it,
yeah,
walked away. But he was still trying to give it to, like, I guess be nice. But
I think he
it was
just wanted
just
to
such
set it
a
on the
bad
table.
idea. Like a
Altogether,
bad
it was a bad
idea. Like,
idea.
why would you
Cordell, you
think
haven't even, yeah.
like I don't Cordell, you haven't even what?
I was gonna say you haven't even spoken to her,
That
but you want
part.
her to accept your breakfast. You haven't said you guys haven't had a conversation. Granted, she's upset and doesn't want to talk to you right now, so you give someone space. She says, "Don't bring it to me." You continue to bring it. Then you're outside mad that she flipped it on you. Come on, dude. Like, I don't know,
It's
but I
back
did
to
think it
he
was
doesn't
very
listen.
rude. Definitely doesn't listen, but I did feel bad for him, and I did think it was really rude. I don't know if I could flip break. I think I would have just left it sitting there all day, and then he could come back and
Probably.
see it was still there, or I could bring it back exactly how he brought
And
it to
like
me and
throw it
leave it
away or
somewhere.
something.
Yeah, but to flip it on him, she's got some cojones.
She
Serena
does.
doesn't fucking play. Moral of the
No.
story is don't mess with Serena. What's her last name? Do not mess with Serena Page. Serena
Serena
Page is not the
Page.
one
It
or the
is. I follow
two.
her on Instagram and it is the Serena Page on there.
Do
I
not
just
mess with
follow
this
Janae.
girl. Yes.
Um,
But I did feel bad. Brandon, the secondhand embarrassment.
no, it was bad because it was like silent too right after, and it was just like, oh my
Uh-huh.
gosh, I can't. This is a lot. But
And she stood on business. She was like, whatever, I don't care. And then I think in the confessional, she was like, everybody is seeing, like, I know I'm unfiltered right now, but this is just how I feel.
she said multiple times outside of this, it would be handled very differently.
Which
So
I
I'm
think
like,
means she would fight him.
no, she won't. And
Ah,
I'm like,
crazy.
ooh. Kenny makes Catherine breakfast, and this is where Sierra randomly sobs because she didn't get breakfast from
I
Miguel.
thought that was so funny. I was like, why is she crying? And she's like, everybody got breakfast except for me.
She's like, guys,
And
this is
then
crazy. Like everyone's getting breakfast but me.
I was like, yeah, bitch, welcome to the villa. But Miguel was working on it and she just jumped the gun.
Right. He like brings her breakfast and she's like, okay, thank you.
And
Wow.
she's happily eating it. She was like, damn, I was
Yes.
starving. Everybody
I'm
got
like,
breakfast but me. I was like, damn, Sierra.
yes. She does say he hasn't spoken to her since getting to the villa, but the other girls are just like, you're paranoid.
No, these men are so fucking shady. You have the nerve to bring someone and then you barely pay attention to them.
I know.
I don't Casa must have been a fever dream. Were they all on drugs? Were they all under the influence of a lot of alcohol? Like, I don't get it.
I think it's one of those things where they treated it like a guy's trip bachelorette party and like what
Yeah.
happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, but then they brought part of Vegas home and they were
Mm-hmm.
like, oh no,
That's not what I want. I'm
this
good.
isn't, no. Cordell and Aaron have a pity party, and Cordell feels like he should have been more respectful to Serena,
Mm-hmm.
which facts. But Aaron says if she genuinely cares, she'll hear him out. And Cordell thinks she just doesn't like feeling played and it's her ego, but he misses Serena a lot. What is with
Mm.
these like it's Aaron and like Rob, if they care, they'll hear you out after you fuck them over. I'm like,
Yeah.
what?
I think they're saying that because Cordell is probably saying that Serena doesn't want to talk to him. We didn't see her openly reject it, but I'm pretty sure she didn't want to talk to him. I think that's what they're saying.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's like she should hear you out, but also there's no reason to not have time.
That part, it just
because you want to like
happened.
compose yourself. Exactly. She can have space. That's fine. Literally, all of the guys think everything the girls do is wrong. All the girls think everything the guys, they're never at like peace with each other,
They
except for the
aren't.
occasional time where Kordell is like, I don't think she played me, you know?
And Serena's like, I guess he grew on me.
Mm-hmm.
Miguel tries to reassure Kaylor that Aaron was always thinking of her. She pushes back. And her thing is she just keeps replaying the video and she just feels uneasy. I'm like, Kaylor, please listen to your intuition.
Listen
Please,
to your
just
gut,
once.
girl.
Kenny and Catherine chat. She thought it was rude that JaNa asked whose connection was better. He apologizes for not effectively communicating during the ceremony. And she just feels like she needs to take a step back, maybe. And meanwhile, JaNa is just watching, just like, what are they talking about?
I mean, I think Kenny is really the only guy who's like actually apologetic for that whole thing going down to the girl they brought to the villa and low key disrespected, you know?
Yeah. He's
He's like,
definitely
I'm
seems the
sorry.
most affected by it, like
Mm-hmm.
genuinely, and wants to fix it, which I
Mm-hmm. And
love.
I feel like his apology to Catherine was was like what am I trying to say? Genuine.
Genuine. What's the
Mm-hmm.
word?
What's the word?
Daia, there's a lot of random shit with like Sierra, and I'm just like, I don't find Sierra that interesting.
Nope.
She's pretty.
They don't give the new people really any airtime.
No, because she's just like, because Daia's just talking about how like she wants to give like Kordell his space. And Sierra says Serena's been wishy-washy and that he deserves Daia, but Kordell isn't giving Daia any reassurance, which he isn't. But
Nope.
that's very telling. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Another thing I don't care about, Kane and Liv.
Yeah.
They chat. There's no chemistry
Nope.
whatsoever.
None.
He's like, "What do you like for
Zero.
breakfast?" And she's like, "Avocado and toast." And then he's like, "Great, I'll make it for you. I don't eat breakfast." And she's like, "Great, I'm off the hook." And I'm like, I can't do this.
That's actually interesting. I feel like all of the guys that Liv has been paired with at first, she doesn't really give them like she's not very flirty. She's just kind of like, yeah, like even Hakeem asked her what she liked for breakfast. I think all of them have had the breakfast conversation, but she's not like flirting, trying to charm you. She's literally just being herself, which is fine, but I feel like they're not seeing like how great she is because she's not like overtly being flirtatious with them and stuff, you know?
Yes, I was listening to some podcast today, and one of the people said
Brandon,
that
how many podcasts do you listen to? You've referenced three. This is another one. Is this a different one?
it's the one that called Serena and
Pop Smoke?
Pop Smoke.
I
But they were
I was like, he's referencing a lot of
look,
podcasts.
accounting, you're in the office, you got to listen to stuff. So you
I
listen to
get it.
podcasts.
I get it.
But they said maybe Liv should try talking to one of the women. And I was like, honestly, I could see that.
If she's into
If she is. And we support
it.
you, Liv, of course.
Or shoot her shot. Well, I mean, like the thing with Rob ended up working out, one, because I think she boosted his ego, but two, because he really got to know her and
Yeah,
came to like her from getting to know her. A guy needs to like stick around long enough to really get to know Liv. But
that's true.
because I don't think she needs to be super flirty. I think she's fine being herself, but I think that's why they're not giving her enough time to like get to
Hmm.
know her. You know what I mean? Like she needs someone like Kordell in the sense that they're patient and will see things out with you for a couple weeks to really get to know you. Like Liv needs
Yeah.
that.
I will say the before Casa, her conversation with Rob was like the most chemistry I've ever seen her have with someone. So
Oh
I'm like,
yeah.
maybe that needs to be explored,
Yeah.
but I don't know because he's with the Daniela.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't I hate Rob, but I actually do think he has decent chemistry with Liv. And I think that yeah, like I actually kind of like that she doesn't like play in their face like, "Oh yeah." Like, like
Hmm.
Nicole. Anytime someone compliments Nicole, she eats it up. "Oh, I'm
She
beautiful."
does.
Wow. She eats it up. Liv is like, "Yeah, I know." You know?
Anyways,
She, you know?
it's like
So I feel
great.
like because she's like that, they're not giving her time. But yeah, I would love to see her with someone. Maybe Rob. I don't know.
I know. I just hope she doesn't go home at the next vote or recoupling
I
because I
don't think
love
she
Liv.
will.
Despite the end of or part of movie night, I still love Liv.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but Serena and Aaron chat, and he like tries to comfort her, and she just asks him why they couldn't just respect them. And this is where he's just like, "Oh no, I wish we could go back to what we were before. We were just being stupid. I can't believe it." Uh, and she
Mm,
just thinks it's crazy that he brought Daia back, and she cries, and it's sad.
yeah. It was so sad to see her like that. And yeah, for Aaron to say, I wish we could go back, like you created a mess. What do you mean? You wish you didn't do it? Like, I guess. I don't know. There's nothing he can say to justify his actions, you know? I
No,
think it's more so how you're handling the feelings of the person that you hurt. But I did you notice how they were laid up together? I was like, why is Erin's head on her ass? And she's got like a thong on. I mean, they're all half naked most of the time, so they're probably just used to it. But I was like, I've never seen you two buddied and cuddled up like this.
I know. I remember because remember that one of the first challenges where they had to like make out in front of the waterfall or under the waterfall where Hannah almost drowned.
Yeah.
Um, she picked Aaron and she was basically like, he's my brother. Like this means nothing. And it was like stupid and they were like laughing. So I think they
Oh,
just kind
okay.
of have like that brother sister
Yeah.
relationship. It's
Yeah.
interesting. They
It
also
is.
fight
I
like
wish
brother and sister.
they do. I wish they showed us more of this so we could kind of see the dynamics of people, you know? Not
Yeah.
that I would think that she hates Aaron, but I didn't think she'd be buddied up with him like that, you know?
Yeah, no, I agree. Miguel pulls Leah for a chat, and everyone's very happy. They're like, "Yes, finally! Oh my gosh!" And he says he instantly felt stronger feelings when he got back to the villa for Leah and wants to continue getting to know both, but and that he could have moved better in Casa. And Leah's just like, oh, I tried to tell JaNa it's not a big deal because they hadn't spent much time together. But he defends her and says, well, JaNa has been mugged off so many times this experience. And Leah's like, so have I. I've been done so dirty, but I move
It's
on. And I'm like, yeah, because you're fucking toxic, Leah. So you like live for it. And he even said, because you're a
yeah.
madman.
Yeah, I don't know if you've been done dirty in the same way because Janae genuinely did like the guy she was talking to, whereas you only liked Rob and Miguel, and you spoke to Connor and didn't like him. You were bundled up with somebody else. Who was she with between them?
I think it was because she was the one who did Connor dirty. I think it was
Mm-hmm.
right from Rob to Connor and then Connor to
Rob
Miguel.
Connor. Oh, okay. And then Miguel coupled up with somebody else. But
Yeah.
yeah, they haven't been done wrong in the same way. No.
Yeah. But and then
Um,
Miguel tells
again,
Leah this is where the 90-10 comes from. Because they're talking
yes.
about Kordell and Daia, and that he says that that Cordell had told Daia he's mostly leaning towards Serena. But when he said 90-10, what I thought he said was 90% of the time he was talking about Serena during like the experience. Like trying to
Yeah.
say that he was talking about Serena a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what Leah heard was that he was leaning 90% towards Daia or towards Serena, 10% towards Daia.
Mm-hmm.
And then Miguel was like, no, not 90%, not 90%. And she's like, that's crazy. And then he like stopped correcting her. So I'm
Yeah.
like, both of you are
This
stupid.
this is confusing because at the start of episode 25, they do a flashback and they show this conversation of Miguel talking to Leah. And he's describing it. He's like, he was mostly interested in Serena, but like was feeling Daia. And I heard Leah say 90-10. So she was like, so it was 90% Serena and 10% Daia. And he's like, nah, 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 nah. And she's like, again, like you said, that's crazy. I heard the numbers come out of her mouth, not his.
He never said 10. He just said 90. And I
I didn't
swear it
hear
was
him say
just to
90.
say like he
Yeah,
talked about her 90% of the time in Casa,
that
which
makes
is a
sense. Leah
lie.
misinterpreted it.
She did.
Okay.
um, so that's where the origins of that soon to be fight were. Daniela and Rob chat. I see, like, I mean, I guess their chemistry grows, but they're just boring together. So I kind
They
of
don't
like,
really show them a whole lot, like their discussions. We don't really see a whole lot from them, which is kind of nice. I don't mind not seeing Rob, and I don't care for Daniela.
yeah, there's something about Daniela I like, but something I also don't like. I don't know. I'm like
I don't see
50-50 with
anything I
her.
like yet, but I'm keeping my eyes
I
out.
like that her
Not that
hair always looks nice and she has a calming voice.
I haven't noticed either of those things, but I will keep my eyes open. They just need to create situations. I mean, production does it well. They things happen that make us like these people. If I don't really see you doing anything except for your side comments like, "Oh, everybody's really mean." Like what am I going to say to like what is it going to make me like you? You know what I mean? I feel like that's why I'm
Yeah.
just indifferent about her. Like it's whatever. She's just there. But I mean, we see her cuddled up with Rob. We see them kiss occasionally, kind of like passing by, but we haven't seen them have like a deep discussion or anything like that.
No, and I mean, I'm not sure if that's ever gonna happen.
Yeah.
Um, we haven't seen it yet, at least.
Oh,
Leah.
I saw Andrea on TikTok Live last night. I sent Brandon a screenshot, or it was Monday night.
Oh
She was on
yeah.
TikTok Live answering questions, but TikTok Live always pisses me off because I want my questions answered and they never see it. So I was like, I'm leaving. But also, like, she was just like, yeah, things are crazy. There's a lot you don't see. Yeah. And then I was like, I don't even want to ask you a question. And I just kept scrolling.
No one even cares about you anymore, Andrea. Like 87 things have happened since you were eliminated.
Literally, we may not even remember you. It's funny because it's like, I thought I was like 50-50. I was like, should I sit here and listen? And then she started talking, and I was like, nah. And I kept scrolling.
Well, okay, so I keep seeing that Leo guy on my TikTok, and he like has a new
Oh,
song he apparently sings.
oh, like Andrea, they should do a
Well, that's what people were saying. And he was like, oh,
duet.
maybe. And I'm like, you're both not great, so maybe you should. Um,
That's funny.
but Leah talks to JaNa and Serena, and she's like, I'm happy about my chat with Miguel. And then JaNa says she doesn't like that they brought back girls and didn't stand strong in it, which I agree.
Mm-hmm.
They like came back
Yeah.
and were just kind of like, well, I don't know why I brought her back. So it's just kind of
Mm-hmm.
like, what was the point then? And this is
Mm-hmm.
where Leah tells Serena about the 90-10 comment, and where Serena says she would have handled this all differently on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's nighttime. And Kaylor, for some reason, decides to speak to Rob to try and get the truth. And Rob's low-key rude. Because she's like, I'm still confused. And he's like, you are? Why? Like, I don't understand. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, obviously, like, he loves you. Like, it's crazy. Like, I get it, but I'm like, come on, like, get over it. And I'm like, Rob,
Uh,
go to hell.
he has a false sense of hope in Aaron and really believes Aaron told her everything when he didn't.
I will say, because
Because
even he
later,
looked shook at movie night with that one
yeah,
clip. He did.
and later, what are their names? Aaron like is being petty, and Rob was like, "No, man, you need to apologize."
Right.
So I think this is when he still believes that Aaron can handle shit on his own.
Yeah. And then afterwards, Rob tells Aaron it's just going to take time with Kaylor. This is where Daniela and Kaylor finally chat. And Daniela's just not completely honest with Kaylor. And it's just
Mm-mm.
overall, they're all just lying and downplaying Daniela and
Mm-hmm.
Aaron's connection,
Yep.
which is why I'm happy
Yep.
about movie night because you see it. Like, even, and there's
Yeah.
even more Kaylor could see, but what she
Right.
saw was a pretty big encapsulation of
No.
their connection.
You're right. You're right. Daniela needs to be like, we were attached to the hip. We made out a lot. We made out in the shower. He couldn't keep his hands off me while we were sleeping. Like, tell her the truth.
It was
Now,
very intimate.
very. She doesn't need to go into all those details, but I think what she left out isn't right. But who's gonna tell that crying little girl the truth?
No, like literally.
Nobody.
I mean, we'll see though, because Kaylor, you really got to spell it out for her. And even if you do, you have to put it in like a 72 size font, bold. And even then, you have to highlight the key points. But even then, you have to get rid of all the unnecessary, like connecting words because then she'll just get confused and she'll forget. But even then, I don't know. So we'll have
I
to
just feel
see
like I
after movie
agree, but I
day.
feel like nobody attempted to spell it out. Nobody did.
They didn't. They didn't. And so that's why I'm hopeful that after this movie night, when she sees it, maybe she'll finally. But
I'm
I don't
banking
know.
on her not knowing the truth until she goes home.
I mean,
And then I see her on TikTok live talking about
guys, I'm
it.
just really upset with Aaron. Uh,
Meanwhile, he's flicking it up in the UK,
that
living off of
part.
his traders' money.
And maybe if they won, if they somehow win Love Island, which I don't see it for them at this point. We thought
Oh
at one
no, no.
point, but not now.
No.
Daniela afterwards does tell Day and Sierra she lied about the cuddling the first night, and Daya says, it's Aaron's job to be honest, so don't worry about it. Mm,
I agree with her.
she's not wrong.
Yeah.
Um,
like like Daniela shouldn't have to tell her the truth. Her man should tell her the truth.
she shouldn't. It's just she should tell her something, but it's
Yeah.
just
I
like
mean, she did tell her something, just not
she did.
all the things.
That's true, I guess. Fair enough. Cordell's telling Miguel he feels awful, and then Miguel says that
Mm.
Serena is being hyper emotional. I don't like how the guys will like say Serena's like being so emotional and like Serena's being immature, Serena's being unreasonable. And it's
I
like,
disagree.
my thing is this maybe if it was about something small, she was reacting this way, but she saw a video of you completely like dry humping and making out with another girl. Like,
Oh
that's
yeah.
that's like not insignificant.
Not at all. And I don't think they completely understand that they were intimate, that she opened up to him, said she liked him. All they think about is like, bro, she didn't like you at first though. And it's like, why does that
Yeah.
matter? And I don't think Kordell articulates that to them. Like, I don't think they
No.
really know.
Miguel may make one good point where he's like, I think her friend zoning you stuck with you. And I'm like, fair
Oh
enough. But
yeah.
she
Yeah.
since then has like, I don't know. I could get second guessing it. I don't think, and again, I think Serena even says this. It's not that he explored the connection, it's the way he did it.
Yes. Yes.
So it's kind of just
She's not
like,
mad about that.
yeah. But
Yeah.
this Daya and Serena chat, and this is where I died. Because all of a
I
sudden we
think it's
hear, I think it's time we got this straight. Sit and talk face to face.
the music, man.
The boy is mine. I'm like, not this slowed down version of The Boy Is Mine. I can't with this. This is amazing.
It is though.
I love this more than anything. And then this is where Dea just says they were very physical, but not in a sexual way.
Liar.
She thinks the connection was strong, but Cordell said it would take a lot to turn his head. This is where
hmm
Serena tells her about the 90-10 comment. Daya's like, no, he never said that. He would never say that. And the boys actually would say to me that they've never seen Cordell that's happy than when he's with me. And it's just like crazy. And Serena's like, they literally say the same things to me. And she's just
hmm
like, you can have him. I'm done. And this is
hmm
where Serena starts her 10,000 step journey across the villa. She sets her Fitbit.
She's pissed. But first, what did you think of what I felt like it was kind of shady what Daya did? Like, it's cool but how she was talking, I was like, I don't like your smirk. I
That's
don't
the
like your
thing.
attitude.
I like that she told
I like your
her.
honesty. Yes.
Yes. But the way was very much, oh no, he was very much feeling me. Like, and he was very much, like, we were very physical. And it was just like one of those things, like, they said they've never seen him happier. And it's
Yeah,
just like
like
all
you
this. And I'm like, okay.
didn't
But like, whatever.
need
I did like, though, that Serena hugged her and was just like, we're good. Like, this isn't about you at all. I'm like,
Same.
I'm glad they
Same.
were chill. And I think that made Daya feel good too. Like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
Serena doesn't hate me.
Mm-hmm.
But this is where Serena goes off and she walks and she's like, don't talk to me, Kendall. Fuck you. Fuck Miguel. fuck all the guys. Y'all are disrespectful. And I'm like, yes, someone to yell and put these men in their place. Thank you,
Mm-hmm.
Serena. About
Leah's just
time.
chasing her. Serena,
So in her
Serena.
fearing shoes,
She's trying to
Serena,
move as fast as she can. She's like,
Serena.
these
She has like the
shooters can't.
tightest tube dress and like feather shoes, and she's like, Serena, Serena.
Scuffling after her. And
Uh,
then Serena starts to cry. She's like, you got, when her voice cracks, it just about breaks my heart.
I know. And
But,
then she like she confronts Miguel and Kordell on
mhm.
the dock, and she's like, "Fuck you, Miguel. You're lying to me all the time. Fuck you, Kordell." She's like, "Kordell, I don't know what the fuck you're looking at." And then she's like, "Just go."
No, she said, I don't know what I don't know what the fuck your nappy head ass is looking at. I was like, not nappy head ass. Off the dome. Just if she's quick with it. She's so witty.
I love Serena
I've never
so
seen
much.
someone eat someone up so well, so
No,
quickly.
but low key, Cordell's loving this. You
He's just
see,
sitting there
he's
smirking.
like, "What do you mean?"
He's like laughing.
I'm like, y'all
Yeah.
are toxic and y'all are getting back together. It's just a matter of time.
We'll see. I'm not sold, but they are toxic, definitely. He's like, why do I
Miguel's
love
like,
her more now?
right? No, well, it's interesting. And I'll talk about it more next episode, but it's interesting how he like very much becomes I want Serena.
Yeah.
Um, but Miguel's like, what did I do? And she's like, you know what? I'm not even gonna do this. So she walks back and then she's like, Daia, thank you so much for telling me the truth. None of these guys are my friends. And I'm like, low key, they're not. Well, they are,
They're
but they're
not.
just like shady. I don't know.
Right. But not her walking all the way there just to be like, I don't want to do this anymore and walks all the way. I was like, Serena is just trying to get her steps in. Do
She
you have a
is
Fitbit
because
on?
then she walks back because Miguel tries to talk to her. She's like, no. She walks back again to the dock, and
Yeah.
Cordell's like, do you want to talk? Wait, we should. Okay, let's reenact it. Do
Okay,
you
okay.
want to
Who am
be?
I?
Who do you want to be, Cordell or Serena?
I'll be Kordell because what he said really it was irritating.
Okay, you're a piece of shit. You're
Serena,
you're a piece of shit.
Serena,
What?
Serena.
What?
I've been trying to talk to you. That's why I
I've
wanted to talk to you.
I've said plenty. I've said
No,
plenty.
no, you talk to me and I'll tell you what it is. That's why I've been trying
No,
to
you're
talk to you this
fucked
whole time.
up. You're fucked up. No, you're disrespectful. You're disrespectful when I talk to you. No, Cordell, you made your choice. You made your choice. You made your choice. You
And
folded
he
like a
literally,
fucking pretzel. He's like, it took a
he was like,
lot.
I thought about you the whole time. I thought
That's
about you the
even
whole
more
time.
fucked. You did it again and again after feeling bad.
But like, I wanted to be open. I wanted to put us to a test.
Well, you did it. You did it.
I thought no, I told what I told her was that I like her, but I really like you, and it's gonna take a lot to turn my
It
head.
didn't take shit. It didn't take shit.
Should we get an Emmy? I didn't
I
realize
think
we were
we
gonna go for
should.
so long, but I loved it. We ate.
I
We
know. I
ate.
was
We did
kind
a
of
great
like, are
job.
we gonna keep? And then we kept. I was like, yeah. It was essentially that times five, but
Literally.
slightly different variations. But
Oh,
like,
she also told him not to touch her. He tried to like touch her
yes.
when she was walking away. Oh my gosh. First off, the whole thing when Kordell is like, that's what I've been trying to talk to you. And I was like, when have you been trying to talk to her, Kordell? Please tell me when. She read you right. She's like, you've been sitting over here moping like someone did something to you. Kordell,
Hmm.
I did not see one time you attempt to talk to her. That doesn't mean it didn't happen. Maybe they didn't show it, but the way you're low key cowardice about everything, I'm not surprised that you didn't talk to her. And you're like getting mad, like I wanted to talk to her first. So do it. The fuck? Like, what? Instead of bringing her breakfast, maybe ask her to chat. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
He's
He said,
stupid.
what was it? He was
He's
like,
such a
because
little
she said you
boy.
brought her back to rub her in my face. And he was
Yeah,
like, no, I didn't. And then she's like, regardless of if it was intentional, you bringing her back is like rubbing her in my face. And it's just
yeah,
like, he is very cowardice because he just waits
yeah.
till like the very last minute.
Right.
And
What
like,
from the from the conversation, what were your highlights? Because they said a lot. I'm sure people have already seen it. I rewatched this a couple times. Like I have seen this scene play out a lot. But the main things that I got from it was later on, they get off the dock and she is talking to him. And he was like, she's like, well, I'm glad you had a good 3 days in Casa. Like, I hope it was worth it. And he was like, I wanted to test whatever. He's like making excuses. And she's like, it didn't take me a week to know that it was always you.
That's what I wrote
And that
down
broke my
too.
heart. I was like,
I
damn,
know.
Kordell, you're a piece of shit for real.
Mm-hmm.
And
That
then she was,
because she was really
and
opening up at that point.
she was. And then earlier, before they left the dock, I meant to say this first, I forgot. They were talking and she said something to the effect of like, damn it, I'm forgetting again. Hold on. Oh gosh, it's gone. But what were your highlights
I
from this
think
their discussion?
that one you just said, and just basically like, I don't know, she just kept being like, if it's so much better with Daia, then just be with her.
Mm-hmm.
And
And he's like, but I don't want to be. I didn't. And then she's like,
that's
you
the
made your
thing.
choice.
And he's like, no, I
And he's like,
didn't. And I was like, oh, oh, so you want to be back with Serena?
Kordell, you didn't make your choice? Explain how you didn't make your choice. And then earlier before they got to so they were at the dock and then they kind of walk up to where the he loves me not or loves me not sign is.
Mm-hmm.
I keep forgetting every time I'm getting ready to say it. Oh, why is it slipping? Oh my gosh, what's wrong with my mind?
Oh no, someone doesn't want you to say this.
Literally. Oh, because she asks him. He was like, I wanted to talk to you. And she's like, why? To say sorry? And that was the realest thing because people will do stuff and act like sorry is enough. And it's
Mm-hmm.
really not. Like,
No.
what is sorry gonna do? You're just gonna come here and say I'm sorry? And I'm glad that she called him out on that because it's like kind of just pointing out, like, sorry doesn't help, my guy. Sorry doesn't help. You
No.
shouldn't have done it. Period. Oh, I felt bad the whole time, but you kept doing it. She called him out on everything. Every argument he tried to make, she debunked it. He was like, "Oh, I'm human."
And yeah, she's like, I'm
Human.
human too. And that was the other thing. She kept saying, you say you messed up, but you kept doing it. It's not like you just did
Mhm.
it once.
Mhm.
Because I think maybe if it happened once, she could be like, maybe forgive him sooner.
Mhm.
But it kept happening.
It kept happening and she's right. It's inexcusable. Like that's not good behavior at all.
Hmm.
Especially since he was like, I'm never gonna do that to you, baby. I got your back. Nah, it's us for real. Like, we're
Yeah.
good, you
And
know?
he keeps saying, I knew you wouldn't bring a guy or like you were gonna stand up there
Mm-hmm.
alone. So that almost makes it worse. It's like, well, you knew where
Mm-hmm.
she stood and what she was gonna do,
Mm-hmm.
but you couldn't do the same.
And so they kind of go back and forth for a while. She walks away and he's kind of like still wanting to try to explain himself. And I'm like, there's nothing to explain. He did say at one point he saw it differently, and it's like, obviously, well, that
Clearly.
much that goes without saying, my guy. Obviously, y'all saw it differently,
We
but
know.
there's no excuse for it. In this situation, all you can do is take your lumps and eat them. Like, you can't say anything, you can't do anything except apologize. There's no point in arguing. He should have just sat there, heard what she had to say, and let it be that. You know, like
Yeah.
him trying to make an argument back is just a waste of time. Like, I get that he wants her to see it from his perspective, but there's really nothing to see because you really did a whole lot, Cordell. Like,
Yeah. Because
you
it
didn't need to dry
was.
hump the girl.
No, and we watched Casa. We were like, damn, he's really feeling Taya and saying how the connection's just as strong with Serena. So, like,
Mm-hmm.
it's interesting when they return to the villa, everything just flips. And it's all
Yeah.
of a sudden he's like, who's Taya? Serena's who I
Yeah.
want.
They were attached at the hip in Casa. Daniela and Aaron too. Like, these men are shady. They're you essentially, sis, you gotta go with him everywhere he goes because he literally can't be trusted alone.
At this
It's
point.
crazy.
Mm.
But that's kind of how the episode ends.
Yes, that was the end of episode 24. And
So
so
going into 25,
going into good old 25.
it's like
Um,
part two.
basically. The guys all chat with Kordell and try to make him feel better. They think because Dea told Serena, it sounds crazier than what it actually was. I actually think the opposite.
Yeah.
When she watches it, like y'all are trying to make it seem less crazy when you talk to Serena. Daia's was more realistic, but I think watching it is going to be the craziest.
Oh, for real. And the guys are like, "Oh, she's blowing it out of proportion. She listened to Daia but won't listen to you." And it's like, "Guys, please show me where Kordell tried to talk to her and I will shut up. I will be
Right.
quiet." But I feel like Kordell barely tried to. She probably was just like, "I don't want to talk yesterday." And since it's been 24 hours and she didn't approach you and say she wanted to talk, you're not trying.
That's the
One.
thing. Barely any time has passed.
Right. Like this just happened. Two, Miguel is like, "Is this how you want your wife to act?" Shut all the way up,
Oh yeah,
Miguel.
that was a lot. I was like, really? Like,
I was so pissed because I'm like,
is that
I
how
guess I
she would
just,
want her husband to react? Dry
right,
humping another girl?
right. Would you guys want her to be Daia in this scenario
Like,
while
what are we
Kordell is sleeping
doing?
outside?
Like,
No,
this is
it's
so
such a double
stupid.
standard. And it's so annoying. I like these guys, Kordell could punch them all in the face and they'll be like, "But he's good. You know, that's my man. That's my bro." You know what I mean? I need to commit a crime in front of these people because they will stand 10 tones down for me. They're like, "She didn't do anything. She's fine." Like the
They
way they
won't
just
because you're a
defend him.
woman.
No, exactly. They defend him for anything. And I'm like, this is so stupid. And then where's Serena?
She's talking to Daia in this moment, and she's
Oh, okay.
basically being like, he should have stood and like choosing you. And then
Mm-hmm.
Daia's just like, well, he did say he liked you, but that he did want to get to know me
Now
more.
she's adding more details than before, but I feel like she
Yeah,
kind of said that before. Yeah,
kind
not
of.
Daya trying to smooth it over. She's like, "Fuck, did I shit hit the fan?" But when Serena started popping off in episode 25, she was explaining to the guys like she's mad because y'all are telling her things that aren't true. You're telling me he loves me. You're telling her he loves her, and so it's
Yeah,
confusing.
exactly. And then I think it's who brings this up? The 90-10 comment does get brought up to Cordell. I think
Yeah,
was
and
it
all of them
Miguel?
know about it except for Kordell.
Yeah,
I
and
Miguel or Kenny. One of them said something.
yeah, someone said it, and then I'm like, Miguel, you said 90%, but he didn't say it that way, so maybe he got confused. And then they're like, it was Leah. And then so Cordell confronts Leah, and he's like, Leah, what the fuck? And she's like, what? And then he's like, what is this 90-10 comment and all this? I would never use numbers. I don't use numbers. And then she's like, Cordell, you definitely said it. And I'm like,
Hmm.
wait, Leah, no, it was a conversation with Miguel. Like, regardless of even if you
Yeah.
misheard, like, what are you talking about?
She's like, you said that to me this morning. And I was like, not Leah creating a whole new scenario. And
Leah.
she was immediately like, what the fuck? I mean, she was like, "Are you fucking serious, Kordell? You said
She's
that
like,
to me this morning."
yeah, I made it up to hurt Serena more. Like, where would I get 90-10 from? I'm like,
And Kordell kind of goes off on her for a second. I was like, not him mad at the wrong person. You should be redirecting all this energy to yourself, Kordell. But he got a chance to like yell at someone for a minute, so he did, which is ironic to me because the boys were like, "Is this how you want your woman to act?" And then Kordell literally turns around and pops off on somebody. Like they're
right.
the same. They're
They
the
don't have to say
same.
anything about that. But
Because when he started to yell at Leah, Kendall was like, "Oh gosh, oh wait, Kordell." Like
he was like, no,
Kendall
no,
was
wait,
surprised.
wait a minute, wait.
Yeah, we didn't mean do all this right now.
Right. And then meanwhile, Leah's got more bass in her voice, so she's always gonna win an argument. And
Oh
at
yeah.
least with Cordell. And she's like, you know what? I think this is a lot of he said, she said, and people need to just shut the fuck up. And I'm like, facts. But they do make up, which is
They
nice.
do. They like hug
He's
passive
like, I'm sorry for
aggressively.
coming at you. And she's like, I'm sorry too. And I'm like,
He
oh, okay.
apologized to everybody. "I'm sorry you guys got to see me like this." Like, no, Cordell,
Mm,
be yourself because if
right.
Serena can run around and yell, you can run around and yell. But so let's not say yelling is a problem.
Mm-hmm. But Cordell does tell us he has much stronger feelings for Serena than Daya.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is where Daya chats with both Serena and Cordell. She's like, let's all three chat. And then
Isn't that
she,
some shit that she had to organize the group conversation?
it
She's like his
is.
mom. She's
No,
like
she
his mom.
is. And
She's like, okay, how about we all three chat? And Serena's like, I don't want to, but I will. And then they
mhm.
walk over. And then Kordell sits in between them, has his back, like he's not even sitting up, has his arms folded. And I'm like, you couldn't be less present.
And when she's
Like,
talking, he's like, yeah.
I don't think it needed to happen, but I just think it's weird that Kordell is not taking the initiative to like do this himself, you know?
Yeah, he's just not mature enough, which is what
Not at
kind of like
all.
Ariana said in After Sun.
Mm-hmm.
But she says her piece and then she's like, okay, y'all chat, but like relax. And
Mm-hmm.
then Sir Cordell says he owns what he did in Casa Amor. And Serena's basically like, you don't understand. You fully recoupled with someone
Mm-hmm.
else. It's not,
Mm-hmm.
oh, you just brought her. I am now single and you are
Mm-hmm.
in a couple with her. And he's like, but I
Mm-hmm.
let her know that recoupling doesn't mean recoupling. It just means I'm bringing you back to get to know you. And I'm like, okay,
Cordell, did
okay.
you forget the rules of Love Island?
I guess they
It doesn't
do.
matter what your intentions are. I could go home, stupid.
Mm. And then Serena says he knows she would never bring another guy in here. He tells us he really wants to fix things with her. And he says to her that he wants her and he's always wanted her since day one. And she says she wanted him to come alone and say that it's always been her. And he says he's going to
Mm-hmm.
fight for her. And she's slowly folding, but she's not pulling a Kaylor. She's like, it's like they opened a book to maybe her folding and they're at the epilogue. And it's like
Mm-hmm.
it hasn't even been chapter one, but he goes to hug and she gives a handshake. And I'm like, that was kind of funny and cute. And I'm like, I
When I
hope they
saw
get
this,
back
Ash was
together.
like, no, I didn't. I really thought that I didn't think that Serena would give him even an inch, and I didn't take this handshake as her opening things back up, but I guess she kind of is a little. But
Ish.
he what was I gonna say? When I was watching it with Astra, she was like, "Oh my gosh, she's letting him back in already," and I was like, "I didn't see it that way, but I guess so."
I think slightly, but then I feel like, I don't know. As we see with
Yeah.
these next two episodes, not really.
Yep.
But like kind of, I don't know. Kendall and Serena talk things out and he straight up lies and tries to act like he hasn't been bad talking her. And he's like, Serena, you can't be saying fuck you, Kendall, because we care about you and that hurt my feelings. And she's like, I do feel bad about saying that. Okay.
Yeah. No, he was like, Serena, you did twist on him and she was like, but you twisted on Nicole. And I was like, you better like bring all the receipts, Serena. Kendall is not the one to be talking to you about anything. Like,
No.
okay, you guys say she friend zoned him, maybe for a day or two. Like, let's be so for real. Like, the guys are really hanging on to that, and it's so stupid.
They were together before Casa. So it doesn't matter that in the beginning she wasn't sure. Because
Right.
she became sure. It
Right.
was a normal, she got to know him and then
Yeah.
was like, okay, I like you.
Yeah, and if Nicole and Kendall can twist on each other and be in a great place, Serena can twist on Kordell. Like, come on, it's stupid.
Well, Nicole didn't even twist on him.
Oh,
And
Kendall twisted on Nicole,
that
so he's
part.
not the one to talk at all. And he
Mm-mm.
just like when she mentioned it, he just like didn't comment on it again. He was like, "Yeah, but," and it's like, "No, Kendall, you're a hypocrite."
He is. Um, Leah and Miguel have a shockingly sweet chat, and I really like
Mm-hmm.
them together.
Me too.
And he's like, I don't like seeing you guys in this drama because he's my boy and like you're my girl. And she's like, I know, I need to just learn to like shut the fuck up. And I'm like, I love you.
Yeah.
Uh, and then he opens up about really caring about her and wanting to just get to know her and says he constantly thought about her in Casa. And I'm like, I don't know if you did, but whatever.
I'm
You're
surprised because oh, go
oh
ahead.
no,
He's
you
what?
go. I was just gonna say
No.
he was owning it more than at least a lot of the other guys. So I'm like, whatever. I'll let
Uh
you get away with saying that.
Yeah, I agree. I was just gonna say, I'm surprised he's not all over Sierra. Like the way he was talking to Sierra and Casa was like she was the sun and the moon and the stars. And
Hmm.
now he's barely paying attention to her. These guys are so slimy. I can't.
I think because Sierra gives me AI. Like when she speaks, I'm like, Are you real?" Like I'm almost like she's like at one point, like after just jumping a little ahead based off this, Miguel does end things with her. And she's talking to the girls and she's like, he says he doesn't like me. And it's like, damn, that's crazy. And she's just like the way she talks, there's like no inflection in her voice. It's very much just
Yeah.
like this. Like even when she cried, and I'm just like, hmm,
I don't
Leah's
know.
got swag.
She does. I haven't seen enough of Sierra to make conclusions, but I think she started to check out once they got back to the villa and she saw how Miguel was treating her.
Yeah. Kenny and JaNa chat, and she apologizes and cries for freaking out and not really considering his feelings.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I just brought Catherine to test what we had, and like I've had clarity and I want to be with you more. And they hug and say they missed each other. And I'm like, this is a sweet moment.
It was sweet.
She owns her dramaticness.
She does, and I actually really respect that. Like,
Mhm.
okay, you could do some self-reflection and see, okay, maybe I overreacted a little bit.
My bad.
Sorry, Kenny. In the preview, they made it seem like he like kind of like writes her off because he's like, I've seen what I needed to see or something like that. But he meant it like I think between seeing what he needed to see between Catherine and JaNa and like
I
making
think
a
he
decision
realized
around.
like I really like this girl JaNa and I hate that I
Mm-hmm.
hurt her. And I'm like,
Yeah.
someone on Twitter was just like, it's always they love the dynamic of a yapper girlfriend and the silent boyfriend. And I'm like, low key. Because JaNa just talks and I
Oh
love
yeah.
it. I'm like,
Oh
JaNa,
yeah.
what the fuck are you saying?
That's
But
funny.
I'm like, I'm obsessed with it though. So keep
Yeah.
talking. Um Cordell tells Kendall he wants Serena over Daia, and Kendall's like, I think you should sleep on that. Like, you should sleep on that. And I'm like, he's not going to.
They literally don't listen to him ever.
No.
She's like, she did you dirty. I don't think so.
I
I think
mean,
I like Serena. No, you don't. No, you don't. And it's like, you guys suck. Let
right?
him live. Let him make his own decisions. Maybe I don't think Day's better. Maybe she is, but listen to Kordell and at least see what he's saying.
I'm sure Daia's great, but always Team Serena, you know?
Exactly.
Um, Miguel apologizes to Serena that she felt betrayed by him. And this was a real apology. He
Mm-hmm.
didn't say I'm sorry if you felt, he was like I'm sorry that you felt this way. And I was
Mm-hmm.
just like this is such like Miguel's low key for
He's
being a
growing
fuck
on me.
boy, very mature
Mm-hmm.
in a lot of ways.
He
But sometimes
is.
he
He
says
is.
something I'm like, okay, Miguel, but
Oh no, his views are definitely left, but I feel like of the guys, ironically, he's kind of more mature when it comes to handling conflict.
yes.
And even him telling Leah, like, oh, it kind of troubled me to see you beefing with somebody is like, oh, interesting. You know what
I
I mean?
know.
You think he'd live for the drama, but he's like, no, no, I don't like drama. I like peace with my friends.
I think he lives for the gossip. And
Oh yeah,
like,
definitely.
because he's funny, he's a little sassy, but
Yeah.
I think he's like, just don't be in the middle of it. But
Right.
but I think he also likes that Leah's in the middle of it. It's conflicting.
It's very conflicting.
Day is sad because of Serena and Kordell talking because it's not nice to see. But I'm like, you were pushing it. You sat
You
them
literally set
together.
them down.
I'm
Anyway,
like, okay,
pick
Daya.
what you want, Daia. What do you want?
Right. Next day, JaNa cuddles up with Kenny in the bed. She like jumps in his bed
Mm-hmm.
in the morning. I'm like, ooh. Miguel tells Kenny he needs to end things with someone, but they
Mm.
kind of leave it open. They're like, who's it gonna be? And I'm like, I feel like we know it's gonna be Sierra, but whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Rob tells Aaron he wants to ask Kaylor to be his girlfriend. Womp womp womp.
Oh, oh, classic Aaron. He's like, things are very tense. Let me do something very serious.
But honestly, let me be emotionally manipulative.
Yes.
I think it's time to
She's
pull that
really
card.
she's really mad, so I gotta do like a big gesture, like a big gesture, like telling her I love
I think I'm gonna
her.
propose. I got a ring.
You think production can get me a wedding ring?
Oh, he's a mess. This is where Miguel pulls Sierra for a chat, says he wants to end things and pursue things with Leah. And she
Yeah.
makes a point like, yeah, we started off physical and then it got kind of weird. Whereas you and Leah, it started off as more of a friendship. So I could understand like what it is.
Yeah.
And so she tells Catherine and Daniela that this is where she's like, he doesn't want to be with me. Like, that's crazy. And I'm like, okay. Anyways,
That's all? Okay.
okay. Aaron lies to Kaylor and says he hated Casa and missed her so much. He literally, they
Mm-mm.
caught him in 4K, like almost every other scene being like, I love it here.
He
It's like,
was having so much fun. Yeah, Kordell was saying that too. Like, there's no pressure. It's just fun. And it's like, yeah.
yes, it's so stupid. I hate these men.
It's
These
so
men
bad.
are savages.
Yep.
Um, but she says seeing the video made her realize how much she liked him, but says it's gonna be in the back of her mind, but wants to
Yeah.
like continue to work on it with him. Which, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Kenny and JaNa chat. They have a cute moment with the beanbags where she's like, "Why are you so far? Like, why do you want to be close to me?" And he's like, "Okay." And then he's like, "She's like, you don't want me to smother you, do you?" And he's like, mm. And I'm like, "This is cute."
They're growing on me.
I know. I'm like, I kind of want them to win.
Right.
Um, Kordell and Daia chat. She feels like he's been avoiding her in hopes they can spend more time together. And he says they have a connection, but he has strong feelings for Serena. And this is where she's kind of clocking like that he's like saying, like, oh, you have feelings for Serena, but you're not really saying the same thing about me anymore. But he
Yeah.
does tell her, like, oh, I don't want you to like back off. But then he tells
Mm-hmm.
us he feels like a dickhead because he knows Dea wants him, but he wants Serena. And this is the interesting part. This is like
Mm-hmm.
funny because you have Dea who wants Kordell, but Kordell was Dea in the
Mm-hmm.
Serena Kordell in the beginning, kind of. But
Mm-hmm.
he wants a challenge. And now that he has someone that's really
Mm-hmm.
about him, he's like, no, I kind of like chasing Serena. And I'm
Yeah.
because I think too, Serena freaking out really confirmed to him that she really cared and liked him a lot. So he's
Yeah.
like,
Like how upset she got.
okay. Hmm.
Yeah. There it's so interesting. And then like, is this where Daya is comparing their time in Casa to their time now, or does she do that in 26?
I think she does it like in both, like multiple times. She's like,
Okay,
we were
okay. We'll
used to
get
be so touchy-feely and now we're not.
yeah,
And I'm like,
yeah. Because the first day he does affirm her feelings. He's like, I'm sorry, I don't want to make you feel left out. I'm just like trying to figure
it
things
gets
out,
less
whatever.
and less.
Yeah, but this day he's like, yeah, no, I still like you,
He's
but
like,
I like her a lot.
totally, you're so cool. You're
He
great.
starts hanging her out to dry, which is not okay, but
It's
I
not.
could have told you that would happen, Daya. Actually, I
Hmm.
was really unsure. I was really unsure about Kordell because when he was all up on her, I was like, damn, he really likes her.
I
But remember,
know.
we were talking about it, and I was like, the fake like short term love doesn't feel the same as the like you know me, we're friends kind of love.
Yeah, because it was just physical, like we would say. So it was
Yeah,
just kind of like, I don't know.
yeah.
But after that, Sierra gets a text, and it's a challenge, and this is a super fun
Challenge.
challenge.
What's it called?
Um, I don't know. I always miss the name because they do
It's okay. I
hashtags,
missed it. I missed it
but
too.
I don't know if the name's actually in the hashtag because sometimes they're like random just about the challenge. But it's
Yeah,
essentially like a social media one, and they're kind of dressed up. It's almost like kind of race car, and like they're in like these cars, and they have to go around this track. And there's two stops, and on one um what would the thing be called? Not paper, on one slab?
yeah, they have like these big
Cards.
cards.
There we go. I'm like, I was blanking on like words. They have cards at like each stoplight, and it's like it'll have a tweet and it'll have like blanks where names would be. So you have to read the tweet and then you have to guess like, oh, who do you think
It's
like
about.
is in this tweet? And so
Mm-hmm.
whoever you pick has to go to the bench where they'll eventually at the end of this be like sprayed with like paint and like powder and all this shit.
Mm-hmm.
But then in the second card, it reveals the actual name and the answer, and you can see whether or not you were right. And
Mm-hmm.
so they basically do this twice.
Mm-hmm.
But first up is JaNa, and she kills it. She comes out, she's like, beep, beep. She's going around. She's knocking it down.
She's being so cute.
Yes. And her first tweet is, honestly, blank rubs me the wrong way. I want her out. She says Catherine, which I think she kind
Yeah.
of just had to say because it was just like, if she were to
Yeah.
pick anyone. But it
Yeah.
ends up being Nicole. And I was like, damn. But I'm like, I feel like they try to pick with these tweets, they try to kind of even it out, like maybe like some hate with some like
Positive.
positivity,
I feel like
kind of.
Nicole and Kendall are the only two that got like positive stuff. Everybody else got shitted on.
Yeah, you're right.
I think they're really trying to like ship Nicole and Kendall as the best couple of the season. Like the
They
producers have
are.
picked their winner and they're trying to ship them.
They are, which they very much could win, but I don't know. The second one was not blank trying to last minute get in the villa by talking to blank. I didn't even remember her until they showed the clip of them. Now, I
Same.
knew it was going to be Kenny and Catherine,
Yeah.
just based off what we saw. She says Daniela and Rob, which I guess would have been a fair guess, given like the weirdness of it, kind of.
Yeah.
But it was
Yeah.
Catherine and Kenny.
Yeah.
Um, Kendall and Nicole go next. Their first tweet is blank. Ask blank to show you his handshake with blank.
Right.
They say Aaron ask Serena wait, or Serena ask Aaron to show you his, I don't remember the order, but they say Aaron, Kordell, and Serena. And
Mm-hmm.
Serena's like, that's such a cop out. And he's like, what was I supposed to say? And I'm like, I think you knew it was gonna be Aaron and like
Mm-hmm.
Kaylor, but like you were trying to be like,
Daniela.
and Daniela, yeah. But you
Mm-hmm.
couldn't pick Daniela because Daniela was there.
Mm-hmm.
But or no, wait.
They
No,
could
because
pick
Kendall
it.
and Nicole. I'm thinking of
Yeah.
Rob and whatever. My bad.
Oh.
But they did get a question similar to that. Anyways, I'm confusing myself. But it's actually Kaylor, Aaron, and Daniela, which as we know, they did the same he did the same handshake with Daniela that was his handshake with Kaylor, which you
Mm-hmm.
know Kaylor is gonna care about that. Even though
Mm-hmm.
she forgot about this in her questioning afterwards. But
Yeah.
it'll resurface.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the second one, it's amazing to me how Blank uses his passive voice and a bit of eye contact, and these girls think he's an onion waiting to be peeled.
For
Embarrassing.
real
They knew it was
though.
Rob right away,
Oh,
which
that
I
was the
love.
realest tweet ever. I was like, whoever wrote that needs to be a sports commentator.
I
You
know,
got good
right?
reads.
That was very accurate. And he's like,
Mm-hmm.
I am an onion. And I'm like, you're not.
Yeah.
Leah's next. Blank gives me the biggest ick. Get this man off my screen. She says Kane, but it's Kendall, which
Kendall, which
I
is so funny
love.
because that's exactly how Brandon feels about Kendall. I knew you would like that one.
It is. And he freaked out. He's like, if this is about me, I'm done. I can't. And then it
Yeah, no,
was. And
he
I'm like, huh?
Kendall, if you have to question if this is about me, you already knew it was gonna be about you, bro.
Yes. And this one, this was the really messy one, which I low-key kind of feel bad about. I can't stand Blank, especially after seeing those tweets about how she was all in Odell Beckham Jr.'s comments. She came to the villa with the plan, and Blank's dumbass fell for it, throwing away all the
Dang.
morals he claimed he was going to have before entering Casa.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, oh my God, this is such bullshit. Like, this is a fucking lie. Like, this is trash. Like, no, I'm going to cry. No, like, this isn't real. Like, no, that's fucking not real. That's foul. And, she says Cordell and Daia, and it is obviously. I will say it low key isn't fair because I don't think she was in his comments.
I don't really have a lot of proof. I only saw that she liked one picture. I didn't see a comment. I don't know if they took them down. People are like Daya's friends rushing to her social
I
media to
know.
unlike stuff, but I don't think she really followed him. I think she acts like she knows less than she really
Yeah,
does.
I'm
I
like,
think
of
she
course you
actually
know
knows
who he is.
he's a
Like,
famous football player and
yeah,
he's great.
yeah, everyone knows who he
But
is, but she's just like, because I think someone photoshopped a picture with her
and
putting
put it
like heart
together.
eyes.
Yeah.
Because it's not there, and then people are like, "Oh, she deleted it," and then somebody commented like, "No, I think it was fake. Like, it didn't even align. It looked weird too."
I don't don't know. But what I do know is, why did you cry instantly? That makes me question you a little bit. Like, why were the tears like if you because all this time we've seen Daia very confident in all of her actions, right? She whatever she does is how she feels, that's how she moves. So why
Yeah.
did she cry right away?
Yeah, I don't
That makes
know.
me feel like she's guilty.
She might
Your
be.
reaction is like a little suspect. We've never seen you cry, girl.
I know. It might be, but I don't know. It's messy. But so,
Wait, she did tear up after Kordell was like not paying attention to her. So we have seen her cry. But the fact
oh
that she
yeah.
cried instantly, I was like, from how I've seen her behave, I feel like she's the type of person where somebody says a lie about her, she's like, nah, it's a lie. But the fact
Yeah.
that she cried, I think is suspicious.
It may be. I guess we'll get more of the picture after all this is over. But Liv and Kane are next. And their first one is Blank is the baddest bitch to ever step foot on Love Island. She doesn't deserve this. Oh my God, I can treat her right. She says JaNa, and of course it's JaNa.
JaNa.
Um, the next one, the way Blank passed Blank over to Blank like she's an object. How
Oh.
embarrassing. And what's sad is that she'll go for it. And
Mm,
it's the way Aaron passed Daniela over to Rob. And she says that she's like, based, I don't know if this is true, but just based off what we see in the
yeah.
video, it looks like it could be this. And it was. I mean, I feel bad because
Can't.
Daniela cries. And I'm
Yeah.
like, but it's you're not an object. And fucking what is it? Rob's like, I don't think she's an object. I think she's a really cool girl. I'm like, shut up.
Anyway,
Like,
Rob, we hate you. You
if
think
Rob
America
vouches
likes
for
you.
you, you're done.
Mm-hmm.
uh Sierra and Miguel go next, and their first one. Blank on Love Island USA is so toxic. Not a girl's girl, criticizes male vulnerability, dramatizes people's words to get others on her side, has a sense of entitlement. The list goes on. Now I knew this was going to be about Leah, but I also
Yeah.
don't think it's true. But Sierra
I
thinks it's true.
don't. Okay. Have we been looking at Leah? Like, production is really trying to get us to be against Leah, and I don't agree.
Leah hit 200K on Instagram.
Everybody loves Leah.
Here's the thing.
Like,
Leah will say it. She's dramatic. She is toxic. But I
yeah,
don't think she's a mean girl. I think she's
no.
just messy.
Yeah. And I don't even think she was criticizing his vulnerabilities. I think she was just calling out the fact that he made it all about himself.
Yes,
And like
exactly.
she was venting. Like, I say a lot of mean ass shit when I'm venting. You don't want to hear me vent. If I'm upset with you, you don't want to be in the room because I'm going to say all kinds of things about you. So it's also like kind of annoying how they're like weaponizing her frustrations. Like, she's just venting. Come on.
Maggie, after I guilt her into going to the gym. This motherfucker, I can't fucking believe him. Fuck him.
Brandon pissed me off today. You wouldn't believe, you know?
uh,
But
I,
I feel like she's just venting and they're production is
this
being real messy.
They are. I mean,
I don't
it's
know
clearly
why.
someone tweeted it that was like a Rob lover, which is
Yeah.
fine, is what it is. I am surprised at the movie night, just to jump a little ahead, that they didn't show the part after the Andrea vote where she was like, and now you're sending three home. Haha, and you're still here in your overalls, bitch. Now what?
Bitch.
Because that would have been really maybe not
um
maybe a movie night part two.
Also,
Um
I won't even say that she's because what do they say? She weaponizes male vulnerability.
They say she criticizes.
She criticizes everybody's vulnerability though. Did we forget how she cursed out Liv? She
That
keeps it
part.
equal.
She
She's like, shut
does.
the Liv, can you stop being a
Liv,
bitch
can
for
you
30
shut the
seconds?
fuck up and stop being a bitch?
Like, I don't think it's directed at men. Leah, when she gets mad, she will say some wild shit that she will regret the next day. But also, who doesn't?
She
So
will
I'm not mad at her.
apologize too. Leah did eat with the line though, where she says, suck my dick, whatever you've heard about me, times it by a million, and if you think it's bad, make it worse.
I love her.
I'm like, period.
She stands on business. Like, okay, yeah,
She
I am
does.
a bitch. And what about it?
I've heard it before.
Mm-hmm.
I've been called worse by better. The second one Sierra and Miguel got were I don't understand what blank has done wrong. Blank barely gave him any reassurance and security and
Ugh.
constantly embarrassed him. She was free to drop him many times, but can't explore connection. Please be for real. Kordell and Serena. She clarifies, she's like, it's not about exploring the connection, it's how he did it.
I don't like that she doesn't defend herself when it comes to dropping him, though. Like, they were open, but they actively got to know each other over the course of a couple weeks and they became friends. And then she started to like him. Like, nobody is saying that part, and it's so annoying. Not even Kordell sees it. Am
Yeah.
I delusional? Did it not happen?
It did happen. They're just being forgetful, I think.
It's so stupid. Like you guys were doing TikTok dances and stuff. And somebody said this somewhere and they were like, there's a lot to them that we didn't see. We didn't see them practice that dance because they obviously had, right? Like and
Yeah.
they we didn't see him give her give him his ring and stuff. Like there were a lot of moments that Kordell and Serena had that we did not see of them growing together. So
Yeah.
people need to shut up. It doesn't make any sense. And he's like, I have her ring on. When did that happen?
Mm-hmm.
And that sounds like something kind of personal.
Yeah, and she had a ring too. But I think she took
Yeah.
it off after she saw that video.
I think so
Um,
too.
Aaron's next, and he goes, his first one is blank is a king. And he says Kendall, and it is. And that's where I say hard disagree.
Yeah.
The second one, I'm sorry, blank did what in bed with whom? Damn, Casa going crazy. Clearly it's about Kordell, but he says Miguel for some reason.
hmm
And I'm like, I mean, he did make out with Sierra in the bed, which Sierra says, but she's like, it wasn't crazy. It was literally just like a make out.
Yeah.
But Daia and Kordell go next. Blank, really one of the most underrated girls in the house. They say Liv, which I thought it was gonna be Liv
I thought it
too,
was Liv too. Who
but
was
it was
it?
Nicole,
Nicole?
which I like
Mm.
Nicole, but I'm like, I don't think she's that
Again,
underrated.
production has
She was in the
they have
triangle.
right. They have a narrative they're trying to spew right now.
hmm Us reality TV viewers are catching on to all these little things.
hmm Especially since, like, you guys know we don't give a fuck about Daia. So why would you put in the negative comment about Serena? You know what I mean? And y'all
Yeah.
know we hate Rob. So why would you put in the stuff about Leah being a mean girl? Like they're doing it on purpose.
Yeah. It's it's as if they don't know we're watching. Or
No,
like
they know full well. I think they're
what
trying to give us something to talk about.
I guess. The second one, Blank is a mean girl. Not sure many have caught that with
Uh.
all her loudmouth support of some of the girls. She can go home too. And then
Not she can go home too.
they say Leah, which based off trend, I guess I would have
hmm
thought that too, but it's Liv. And I disagree because even if I haven't agreed with Liv on certain things, I've never thought she was like a mean girl.
It defined mean girl. Like she's mean to girls.
She defends the girls.
Right.
The only girl she got into it with is like Leah.
Yeah. So I was like, what are you saying? I mean, she's not nice to the men, but I think when she's mean to them, it's completely justified. They piss her off.
Who would be nice to them? Look at them.
Exactly. No, yeah, that was really not like Liv at all.
No, hard disagree with that.
Yeah.
Rob and Daniela are next. The first tweet. I'm sorry, but blank is cute. They say Sierra, but it's Aaron,
Oh,
which
yeah.
interesting. Who tweeted that? The second one, blank, dot, 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 queen, dot, dot, dot. I'm gonna hold your hand when I say this, dot, dot, dot. Blank is not your man. They say
Mm,
Serena and Kordell, but the tweet was for JaNa and Kenny. And I didn't
yeah.
get that. Because when? I don't know.
Maybe because she was like crying. I mean, this whole tweet thing, Brandon, these tweets have to be fake because nobody saw that this episode.
I've seen
The episode pro-
some like they've like gone on Twitter been like, not my tweet being picked.
Oh,
Like
really?
the Odell one. And the guy even said that tweeted it. They were just like, or I don't know who it was. They said, well, my bad, y'all. I had just heard, but I didn't know for sure. So that's why I kind of felt bad because they didn't even
Oh.
see her in the comments, but tweeted it and then they used it. So I was like, that's not fair. Like, if it was true, sure.
You're saying a true person sitting down, someone commented on a tweet and they used it, you're saying?
No, like if you truly saw Daia in the comments of Odell, then okay, tweet that.
Oh,
But
she
because you
just said
just
it.
heard,
She said it.
yeah,
Oh, I get it. I get it. Because, like, this is, we see a preview of this game ending after episode 24. And I was like, but Kaylor just got back. And, like, you know what I mean?
yeah,
So how did we see a preview of the game before we had time to react to the game? That's what made me confused. But I guess they're
yeah.
real.
I guess at least some of them. I don't know about all of
Yeah.
them. Some of them seem suspect.
Yeah.
Um, Kenny and Catherine go. I will say, because these are the last ones they show, but they didn't show
Mhm.
Serena or Kaylor going. I guess it just wasn't messy enough. Their tweets they read.
Oh,
But I
yeah.
noticed that. They showed the beginning of Kaylor falling, but then they never showed her turn.
Mm.
Um, but Kenny and Catherine go last, and their first one is blank is the only man in the villa I support. At least he's blatant about getting to know multiple women. He isn't
Oh.
putting up a fake front like blank and blank. Now, they said Miguel, Aaron, and Rob, and that's who I thought too. I
Oh
was
no,
like,
I thought it was Kordell for sure.
I mean, yeah, I guess in the context of pretending like you don't want to get
Yeah.
to know multiple people. So yeah, that makes sense. And it
Yeah.
is essentially it's Miguel, Aaron, and Cordell.
Yeah.
And then the second one, oh, what?
No, keep going.
Oh no. Man, I feel bad for Blank because they didn't even show the worst of it. And obviously it's Kaylor.
Oh, poor guy.
Kaylor
She's like,
even knew it was
what?
her. What
He's
don't I
like,
know, Aaron?
oh no. What, how could it get any worse? I think she says something like that. And I'm like, poor Kaylor.
If
And
you
then
only knew.
she falls while they're leaving, and Aaron just like laughs at her. And I was like, oh my
I know he didn't
gosh.
even help her up. I'm
He
like,
just bust out laughing with Miguel, and I was like, you guys are literal trash. Like, you don't show any sense of care or urgency. Like, people falling is funny, I get it, but like, help her up first. Damn, laugh about it after.
I know.
Also maybe Serena and Kaylor. Well, you said you saw Kaylor start to go. I was gonna say maybe there were too many people because there's way too many fucking people. You have five couples, five singles. Like, I
There
don't think
is.
production anticipated this many people being enough. Maybe that's why Kaylor and Aaron are sleeping outside because I kept wondering why they're sleeping outside. I think there's no room.
That could be it too.
Yeah,
But then also, there's people sleeping alone. Like Kaylor,
yeah,
if she
that's
really
true.
wanted to stand her ground, could sleep with Serena. But
Right,
or JaNa. But
right.
anyways, the game's over. Afterwards, Taylor's spiraling, of course. She wants to know what really happened. Day and Cordell chat. This is where she tries to reassure him, like, I don't even know who Odell is. Like, the only reason I would know is because one of my exes was like friends with him and like they went out to a dinner once and he was like, oh my God, I went to dinner with Odell. And so maybe they posted a picture and I think I commented that, but that would be the only picture that I would do it. But I just don't want you to think that I'm using it for who you're associated with. Because the thing is, like, even if you were like homeless and on the street, like I would want to be with you.
I don't know. That's awfully convenient that your boyfriend somehow knew him. And why haven't you mentioned it yet?
Yeah. That was interesting.
I don't think it's bad to mention that. Like, oh, my boyfriend, my ex was like friends with him,
Yeah,
actually.
like they
But
went
I
to a
don't personally
dinner.
know him. You could talk about it in passing if it came up.
Yeah.
Some people were like, the way OBJ rolled off her tongue, like she says it all the time.
Oh,
I don't know. Sorry, Dea. We have to assume.
we're not sure, Taya, but clarify when you're out of the villa.
Yeah.
Liv
I mean,
cries after being called a mean girl. That was
I feel bad
sad.
for her.
And she says she
Man,
always puts others before herself half the time, and the girls reassure her that she's like the best.
no, she literally is. She really is. Like, even when they are beefing, they will always come together.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just surprised that she's letting this stuff get to her, but I guess the reality of like people watching and because again, they're in La La Land right now. The reality of people watching, commenting, and judging, I'm sure, is overwhelming.
Yeah. Daniela and Rob chat. She regrets even talking to Aaron and feels bad for Kaylor and feels like it's not a great look. Like for people to think she's like an object and like all this shit. And it's like, no, it's not.
It's not, but production probably didn't help you out, sis. Like, you didn't
No.
just meet Rob and come to the villa. Like, you had something with him. We didn't see much of it, but
Yeah,
I'm sure you did. Production's not helping you either, girl. Y'all are
they're
gonna come
not.
out of the house and be like, what did they show you? What did y'all see?
Some people are going to be very confused. Um,
Hmm.
Aaron and Rob chat. Aaron doesn't know what to do. They think it's about some shower comment. And
Oh yeah,
my,
because during the game, Daniela starts mentioning she's like, "Oh, I think it's because of the shower." And JaNa, you see JaNa kind of like perk up a little bit, and so I think that's where the shower conversation comes from.
I'm like, y'all, it's not the shower, it's everything. What aren't you
Literally,
getting? Like, no, it's not just one specific thing, it's everything.
Rob, ask Aaron if he told her everything. That's what you need to ask. That's what y'all need to be discussing.
Well, he might not remember. He's not Wikipedia.
He's so stupid. He does fucking remember. You were only in Casa for 2.5 days, maybe three, maybe
Hmm.
four.
It ain't that
Maybe
long.
five. It's
I
not
think it
that
was
long.
Sydney said on Biofiles, it's 3 day or 3 nights, but like 4 days.
Okay.
So, because I remember they kept saying like 3 or 4.
Mm-hmm.
But Kayla and Daniela chat. And Kayla was like, I thought we had such a good chat. And I'm just confused. Like, are you not being honest with me? Like, and Daniela's like, I just forgot about this one comment. Like, it was something about wanting to take a shower. And then she's like, you can't like forget things like that. Like, here's the thing. Like, I feel like I've been fooled by Aaron. And it's just like, you need to tell me these things. And I'm sorry, it's not your fault, but still. And then Daniela starts to cry, and I'm like, girl,
Uh,
I don't know.
I feel like she's in the worst position ever, Brandon. Can you imagine? You did something shady with her man. Her man's not telling her the truth. So you have to?
Yeah,
Daniela shouldn't be the bearer of bad news. And she's a girl, so she can sympathize with Kaylor. I feel bad for her. Yes, she should have told the truth, but also it's not her place. Like Aaron should have fucking told her the truth. But okay, girl code, tell her the truth. And she did. She mentioned it. But like I know she felt like shit for lying. Cuz she felt like shit immediately after she lied. When she went up to the girls and was like, "Damn, I lied."
I know. It's complicated because it should be Aaron, but it's just
But he
like,
ain't shit.
I
So
don't know.
she's
The
got to
clip
do
we
it.
saw from movie night, which we'll get to, I'm just like, you even had thoughts about Kaylor and you're not being honest with Kaylor, which I get it, but I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure after meeting her, she probably feels differently. That's the other thing.
That's
These
true.
moments caught in 4K are very damning because you're just speaking your mind, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's how you feel it right now, you know?
Yeah, that's true. Um, Aaron now all of a sudden is considering taking a step back from Kaylor. And Rob's like,
Stupid.
don't do that.
He's
Um,
doubling down.
he
He's like,
is.
she's never gonna forgive me, so let me quit. She's upset, so let me just stop trying. I hate him.
He's the worst. Um, it's nighttime. Serena asks Daia how her chats with Kordell are. She says, oh, he still wants me to try. And Serena's like, that's crazy. And then the episode ends with Kaylor and Aaron chatting, and they're arguing because he doesn't think the shower. Well, he tries to do this thing like, "I know what you're mad about. Like, clearly you know, so why don't you tell me?" Like, oh my gosh. And then she brings up the shower comment, and he's like, "Oh my god, it was a throwaway comment. Like, it's not even a big deal." And he like
Mm.
turns to James Kennedy. He's like, "It's not a big deal. Stop it." And she's like, "It is a big deal to me. Clearly, Aaron." He's like, "It was a throwaway
Yeah.
comment. It was after the game. Like, it was in a group of people. It was said in jest. Like, it was just a joke." And
He's
she's
such a
like,
fucking liar.
he is lying. And then he tries to flip it though and be like, oh, I don't know what you say to other guys. Like, I don't know what you said to that guy you were flirting with in Soul Ties. And she's like, why are you trying to flip it on me when you were the one who did something wrong? And the
Mm-hmm.
scenario you're saying is different than the one Daniela's saying. Because you're saying like this group of people and they brought it up. And she's saying it was like after the pool, like just to
Mm-hmm.
her or something like that. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like you're not being
Mm-hmm.
consistent because he tries to
Mm-mm.
tell the story before she even fully says what Daniela said.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Mess, mess, mess.
No, Aaron is stupid. He's like, and then she even points out, she's like, "You're not the victim, Aaron. Stop trying to be the victim. And I'm like, get him together, Kaylor. Get him all the way together. But Aaron is such an asshole. Like, he's kind of acting like Rob right now, where someone
Oh
is
yeah.
mad at you, and instead of acknowledging your feelings, you make it about yourself somehow so that you don't have to take responsibility. I don't see how that makes anything better. Like, Aaron, she's going to be mad. You also lied to her. How about apologize for lying?
Yeah.
Not starting with, like, oh, it's a throwaway comment. It doesn't matter. It matters
Yeah.
to Kaylor. Do you care about Kaylor?
No, he
I hate
doesn't.
him. He
Because he
doesn't.
doesn't remember. It's not a big deal. Like, it's not a big deal at all.
He's like, it'd be one thing if I got in the shower with her. And I'm like, I guess so, but she asked you what happened and you didn't tell her everything. So I don't know. I think it matters because of how she described the whole thing with them. He was begging to take a shower with her, then casually asks Daniela to shower with him.
Yeah.
So he's trying to be more intimate with her. Whether you did it or not, that's crazy that you were trying to take a step in that direction and get more physical with her.
Yeah. And as we'll see in movie night, because I had even forgot the shower comment. I was like, I don't even remember when he said this. So I'm
I don't
like,
remember him saying it either. So when they showed it, I was like, damn. So
you're
are we on
right.
26 right now?
We are, because 26 basically just picks up with them still arguing, and then they like separate,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like, I'm done with this. I'm over this. Like, I'm done with this situation. And then Kaylor's like, what the fuck, Aaron? And Rob, go
Mm-hmm.
comfort Aaron after he just yelled at me. And then
No, he tells her to drop it or drop him. And I was like, are you really gonna double down on this, Aaron?
he is at verse. But Liv is comforting Kaylor and tells her the shower comment's not a joke, and it's kind of like making fun of them. And then Aaron's just venting to Rob. He's like, I'm not fucking Wikipedia. I don't remember everything. Like, what do you think this is? And then if she doesn't believe me, then there's no trust. And I'm like, well, exactly. There shouldn't be trust because you're lying.
The problem is there's no trust because you broke the trust.
The problem is she has an intuition that she's not listening to.
But
And
I
as we've
don't
said in episodes past, you need to trust your
mm-hmm,
intuition.
mm-hmm. I don't understand how people double down like this.
Yeah.
Like, can someone in the comments let us know how men can behave like this? Like, this literally makes no sense to me. You did something wrong, but instead of taking responsibility, you somehow find a way to blame the other person. What do you mean she doesn't trust you? Obviously, she doesn't trust you. Like, the arguments he makes doesn't even make sense. Rob has to tell him, you need to explain it to Kaylor because if she feels away, you should just say sorry. And then
Hmm.
Aaron goes and does it. And it's like, Rob has to tell you to go say sorry? That's not your default?
I know. Because he's
That's
like,
crazy.
I don't even think I said sorry. And it's like, well, you should, like, that should have been the only thing you said. Because the thing
Brandon.
is, it keeps getting brought up because more gets revealed because you're not being
Right.
honest. You see what happens when
Right.
you're not completely honest? More
Yeah.
gets revealed. And then it keeps like resurfacing and the wound keeps reopening. And you know Kaylor's gonna yell about it.
Exactly.
But not in a
Like
fun
you
Serena way, in a like very like whiny way.
Yeah, and it's just confusing to me like how he's avoiding all responsibility. I just don't get it. I don't get
Hmm.
it. I was like, is this reverse psychology? Does he have multiple personalities? I don't understand. Is he a narcissist? Like, I don't understand how
He
he's
might.
behaving like this.
He might be.
There's something wrong with him. Like, do you just have such a big ego that you can't accept when you're wrong? Like, you were
Maybe.
wrong, dude. You were wrong. And even during movie night, he sees how he was wrong and does nothing about what's wrong with Aaron.
He's mad that he's like getting caught and like
I
that it keeps
I
like resurfacing. But again,
that
because
makes
you're not being
sense.
honest. So he's just like annoyed. He's like, oh my God, I thought we were past this. Like, sorry, I guess. It's like, what?
It's not helpful at all. I think
No.
in the moment he's irritated, but when he comes back, he's less irritated. So that kind of makes sense, like for somebody to just keep dredging something up that you want to move past. But I don't like that he's minimizing the fact that it's worth dredging up. Like she should work through her feelings. Because what do you want her to do? Bury it and then every time you argue, bring it up again? Like work
Yeah.
together through it, you know? I
Hmm.
don't know.
It's a mess, but JaNa and Kenny chat and she just stays yapping. She's like, oh, like, like the thing is, do you want me? Because like I'll make you eggs, like I'll give you a drink, like I can change the oil in your car, and I can even build stuff for your apartment. I can build you a couch and all
Yeah,
this.
she said she was gonna help him around the house and stuff. I'm like, what's wrong with you? I think she's trying
Yes.
to be funny.
And then he's like, oh, I want you, and like your presence has always been felt, even though we're not coupled up. And then she just says, like, oh, I'm proud that you brought someone back because you put yourself first. I'm like, Janae, shut up. You're not happy
I
he
think she's
brought
just
someone back.
I think she's just happy that she sees that he's picking her. But
Right?
he's like, I want you and I need you. I'm like, Kenny, relax.
Yes. And then they're like rubbing up on each other. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
He said he's her favorite. They're cute. They kiss. It was cute.
Mm-hmm. Aaron pulls Kaylor for another chat and he
Oh boy.
apologizes, but she's like, I just don't understand why those stories aren't lining up. And then it's just back and forth and da da da. And he's like, I just like the thing is, I love you. Yeah, I said it. I said it. I love you.
She's like, this is really bad, but like it feels so good to hear you say that. And
Just
I'm
like,
like,
I love you
Taylor.
too. And I'm like,
She no,
oh
she claims
no.
she didn't say it back when she talks to Liv later, and I was like, I'm
No, she
pretty
said
sure
she
you
did, didn't
did.
she? Yeah, she did say it. Why would she
She
lie?
told somebody she didn't say it back. I can't remember.
Maybe it
Maybe
was
I heard
Leah.
wrong. I need
But
to start watching with captions, but the captions take up too much of the
yeah, because
screen.
sometimes they speak too low and she's crying half the time she talks. So it's like, what are you saying?
This is like if this isn't love bombing, I don't know what is.
No, it's like bad. Like he
This is
completely
so
gets out of
bad.
it because she just cheeses right up, says I love you back.
They
And
start
then it's just like,
cuddling and giggling.
yes, and it's just too much.
Here we
Um,
go. Love bombing is a manipulation technique that involves showering someone with excessive attention, affection, or compliments to control them. Here we go. Textbook love bombing. He wants to control you. He wants you to feel better. So he's just going to say stuff so you feel better.
basically,
And y'all aren't ever going to work through your issues.
not for real. Because again, if he can't be fully honest, you're not going to work through it.
Yeah.
And then,
I was talking to Astra. Well, Astra was watching this and she was like, damn, is this what we look like when we be taking these men back? And I was like, yeah. I was like, that's so real though. Like a lot of girls, I think I can sympathize with Kaylor. I've been stupid and I've let a guy back just because he says something smooth. Because it's like you want to be with them. You don't want to accept what they did was wrong. And then they say nice stuff and it feels real. You don't
mm-hmm,
realize you're being manipulated in the moment. She's like, damn, is this what we look like, sis? I was like, yep,
not
like
now.
clowns. Like clowns.
That's
Just put some makeup
funny.
on my face.
Right. That's funny. Uh, Cordell and Serena chat. And this was funny. She was just like, don't be touching me and stop looking at my titties. And he's like, I wasn't even looking at them though. And then he's like, basically like, I'm gonna end things with Daia, but I do want to know, like, are you open? And she's
Mhm.
basically like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this. Like, you're saying like you want me, and you're gonna end things with Daia. Like, am I just supposed to be like, oh my God, yes, like, thank you so much, like, because she needs to
Yeah.
still process everything, and like,
Yeah.
but Daia
And
at the same time, oh, what?
well, he was also saying like they have to be able to work on things. They can't just let one thing break them up. And she was like, one thing. Come
Oh
on,
yeah,
Cordell. Don't chop it up to one moment. But he's
I know,
really
right?
trying.
He's trying, and at the same time, Daia's asking Kendall for advice because she wants to break things off with Kordell because it's just not the same as Casa. And she was like, they're cuddling there on the couch, and they weren't cuddling at all. But I guess maybe from an angle it could look like it. I don't know.
She's just salty he's not talking to her.
I know. This is where they get a text for the hideaway, and they have to pick a couple to go to the hideaway. It's like the little honeymoon spot where they can like have a good
Mm-hmm.
time and escape. And they all decide on Kendall and Nicole. And I'll be completely honest. I skipped Kendall and Nicole scenes in the hideaway.
No way. All of it.
Yeah.
You're so funny. You really hate this man.
I was
Kendall,
just
what did you do to Brandon?
well, my
Do
thing,
you
I was
know
like,
him personally?
I want to get to movie night. And what are we gonna see in this hideaway? They're just gonna like have fun and
Yeah.
do like games.
Basically, the hideaway is beautiful. It looks like a small villa. There's a jacuzzi and stuff. But all the girls, I thought it was cute how all the girls got Nicole ready for hideaway and
They
put her in all
did.
they all broke out their lingerie to see what she should wear. I don't know what Kendall was wearing, some pajama pants. I was like, y'all could have helped him out. I know in the games you got some like cute neon speedos. That would have been cute, or shorts.
That would have
And
been
Kendall's
funny.
always wearing those shorts.
He is.
But yeah, the hideaway is huge. They have a closet full of sex toys. And then they like toast to each other and they cuddle up and stuff. It's cute.
Yeah, it seems sweet, but I was just like,
I
movie
don't
night.
want to watch it.
I don't want to
Yeah.
watch this. I don't need this sappy shit.
Yeah.
Um, but then Kaylor's telling Liv that Aaron said I love you. Aaron's telling Rob that he said that. Um, Random side plot, Kane talks to Sierra and it's just like me
Yeah.
and Liv are just friends and there's no connection. So like I've been eyeing you. And she's like, wow, that would be great, actually. I'm like, all right.
Did you peep how he was like, how are things going with you and Miguel? I
Oh
was
yeah.
like, not Miguel.
And she's like, I'm single, actually.
But Miguel? Come on, Kane. You can say Miguel.
I know, maybe it's his accent.
No.
No.
I don't give people room to not. If you can say Aristotle, you can say Miguel.
No, Aristotle. You know how to ball, I know Aristotle. Taylor Swift song.
Of course.
Kenny breaks things off with Catherine, but this is actually very awkward
Yeah.
because before she's like, yeah, I like really like you, and the more I talk to you, like the more I like you. And I'm like, have y'all talked since you got back to the villa? Like,
Oh,
what is
yeah.
happening? And then he's just
Yeah.
like, no.
I think she's pulling out all the stops. She's like, fuck, should I say I love him?
I know,
Maybe
right? She's
that'll
trying to be
fix
like
it.
Aaron, I love you.
I love you, actually.
I think she just wants to be on the show, which fair enough, but
Yeah.
you will see. The new bombshell Harrington that we met on After Sun, he said that he was interested in her, so maybe she'll find something with him.
Yeah, because Nicole is closed
Yeah,
for
Nicole,
business.
they decided they're closed. So
Mm-hmm.
Miguel tells Leah he wants to continue things with her and he ended things with Sierra. And then it's funny, he's wearing a turtleneck and a do-rag. And
Yeah,
he's
I was like, isn't it hot? But then sometimes I see their breath, so it makes me think it's cold. I think it's cold. Because
maybe,
Serena was like, can we sit in the sun? It's cold. I heard her say, like, at one point.
yeah. And then
Um,
he says to her, we go together like butter and toast.
I thought
And I
that
was
was
like,
funny.
not the shade to Rob. Remember when Rob said that about Andrea?
Yes.
And
I
he's like,
thought it
it's
was
good, but
cute
kind of
too.
crunchy. I'm like,
I thought it was cute too. Miguel was trying to comfort her and said the challenge stuff was BS and stuff. And I'm like, please remember that, Miguel, please.
I know.
They
And
they show the hideaway again. We don't care.
oh, I mean, if you care, you can speak your truth. Did you enjoy
No,
it?
it really just them saying that they are um closed.
No, yeah. Which I'm like, duh. I don't know, but I guess on this show you have to really say it. You
Yeah.
really need to define it.
Yep.
Sierra does tell Liv about Kane and what he said about her. And she's
Yeah.
like, at least someone pretty is telling me this time, not someone with horse teeth. And then she does tell Kane, like, she wishes he would have told her before Sierra.
Yeah. I felt bad for her. I was like, why do all the men do her like this? Like, just tell her what's up.
I know, right? It's because they're intimidated by her.
Yeah.
The next day, Kendall and Nicole return from a hideaway and they tell everyone about
Hmm.
their time and they're all like, whoa. The guys are like, yeah, oh my gosh, yeah, he did it. And the girls are like,
Hmm.
oh my gosh, yes. And it was funny how
Yeah.
they were talking about like how like to explain what they did sexually, and they were like
Yeah.
appetizers, and Serena's like finger foods, and I'm like, She's like,
I thought it
yeah.
was cute. I was like, that's fun. They're like, all four courses? She's like, yeah. Nicole is so happy she's in tears. I'm happy for
She
her.
is. And she looks so pretty. She made a comment like, don't look at me. I don't have my eyelashes on. I'm like, you look great.
She
Uh,
does. Did you peep out in the morning when they're getting out of bed? Daia goes, "Good morning, Kordell." And Kordell is like, "I have to talk to you." And she's like, "Okay." I'm
I have to
like,
talk to you
"Not
too.
good morning. I have to talk to you."
I
You
know. Like, you
didn't
could
even
have at
say good
least
morning
said good
back.
morning, Cordell. Like, damn.
He's being really cold
Uh,
to her.
he is. And then after they talk to Nicole and Kendall, he pulls Daya for a chat. And she's like making breakfast. And he's like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, can I pull you for a chat, Daya? And she's like, I was gonna pull you anyway, so yeah. And he's like, okay, yeah, I just want to talk to you. Yeah, I want to talk to you too. Yeah.
she's trying to get. She's trying to do it first because she tells Serena earlier, like, "I
Oh
want to
yeah.
break it off first. I'm not letting him break it off with me."
Yeah. And then they sit down and he tries to start and he's like, I think you're a great girl. And she's like, yeah, anyways, I don't care. I don't give a fuck. I don't want to get to know you anymore. Like, you've been disrespectful. You put me in a back burner just in case Serena doesn't like you. And it's just like bullshit. And like, I don't want to deal with Lace. Like, you have been the same since Casa. I'm just like fucking done.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Mm-hmm.
it's the whole time Serena, JaNa, and Leah are watching. And Leah's like, oh, this is awkward. He's doing it. And Serena's like, she said she was gonna do it. And
Yeah.
then JaNa shows up with her sunglasses and she's like, let me watch this.
Yeah.
And it was the
Oh yeah.
funniest thing.
And Leah took a picture of her facial expression. It was funny. But I
Oh,
mean, Daya's not wrong. He did put her on the back burner. She was like, I thought you'd get to know us equally. You didn't. Like, Kordell did say a lot of stuff that he's not doing.
yeah. He is. He's being
Um,
very wishy-washy. He wasn't fully honest. And like, he
no.
did bring her back and just like barely spoke to her. So it was fucked up.
I was like, did you really think you could bring her back and play in Serena's face and get to know her and stuff? Like he knew. I mean, as soon as Serena was mad, he couldn't touch Daya.
No. And she storms off. She's like, go back to the trash where you belong. Okay, I'm done.
I
And then
thought that
she
was
goes to,
wild.
I know, right? I'm like, okay, Daya, calm down. And then
She's
she
trying to
goes
have
to
a
Serena and
moment.
she's like, he's such a fucking asshole. Like, I told him, like, he was lying to you and he's lying to me. And he was just trying to, like, get a one up on me and, like, break up with me before because he knew I wasn't feeling him. And I was saying it to everybody yesterday. But it's fine because it is what it is. But, like, he's yours now, girl. So, like, good luck. And then she just walks away. And Janae is like,
Oh my, are you taking lessons from Aaron, Daya?
I know, right? The
You
fuck?
sound a lot like him.
But then Liv and Kane chat. He
Mm,
apologizes for telling Sierra before Liv. Great.
yep.
Cool. Cordell and Serena chat. And this is where
Mm-hmm.
he's like, I ended things. And he's like, what does this mean for us? And she's like, I don't know. I need time. Like, I need to process everything. And he's like, I'm willing to fight for you, like, basically. And just like all that shit. And she tells us she feels like numb, but she does like him. And
Yeah.
but he did do the most in Casa. So
Yeah.
and he walks away. She like cries. It's a
Yeah.
lot.
She's really in her feelings. I get it. I get it, girl.
Hmm. But she's
Because
not the
I also think she doesn't want to look stupid by taking him back.
true, which is fair. And he is kind of like, I think when she's seen how like he's telling Dea like she should still try, but then telling Serena he likes her more and then isn't
Yeah.
being fully honest. I think she just is clocking his immaturity, maybe.
Yeah, no, how he handled the whole situation is not helpful. Like he low-key made it worse. You could have came in, gave me space, talked to me when I was ready. You know what I mean? Instead of moping around. Like
Hmm.
just how he handled it. I mean, it was stupid to bring that girl back altogether.
It really was.
Yeah.
Um, but Serena isn't the only one that cries because Liv breaks down to Nicole and Serena about how she
I
hasn't been able to make a connection.
know.
And I'm like, poor
Yeah.
Liv. You'll make one, hopefully. Uh,
Yeah, I hope so, but at this point I don't think it's gonna happen. Sorry.
I mean, if
This
anything,
is
she's made a lot of good friendships, and that's good.
yeah. Yeah, I just think that I mean she's never been in a relationship before, right? Like, have we seen
Hmm,
Liv flirt with someone?
not really.
Like, not that she's not a great catch, but I don't think that she's like moving in a way. where these guys will give her the time without her being flirtatious and like kind of playing hard to get and stuff. She's just
Yeah.
hard to get. She's not even playing. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I think Gia even said to me, she was like, Liv acts so uninterested with these guys.
She
Like they're like, hey
does.
Liv, and she's like, hi. And it's like kind of.
And it's like you don't need to play in their face. You need a guy like Kordell who's gonna be like keep talking to you regardless, like
Yeah.
and kind of like the chase a little bit, and then you get to know him that way. I hope she finds somebody though.
I do too. I love Liv. But then they get the movie night text.
Movie night.
And so basically with this movie night, it's the boys versus girls. They get a question they have to answer. Whoever
Mm-hmm.
wins picks the clip they want to watch.
Yeah.
Like we said earlier, we didn't really write down the questions. So we were
I just
kind of
have the names of the clips and who picked.
I do too. So like
Okay.
perfect. Those are the important parts. But first up, do you want to go back and forth? Like I'll say the first one, you say the second one. Ooh,
Sure.
look at us. The first one, the guys won, and they chose idle hands. And this was funny because Nicole was like, what does idle mean? And Serena's like, we're about to find out.
I was like, oh,
Um,
Nicole, you're so pretty.
I know. But this is basically the clip showing Kaylor and Aaron's handshake, and then showing him doing the same handshake with Daniela.
Yep.
And then Kaylor's like, really, Aaron? And he's like, what? It's a handshake. It was just the same thing. Like, whatever. Sorry, I guess. Well, oh,
I was like, I must be watching the wrong show. Are my eyes to see? Aaron is such a bitch.
no, he
Like,
sucks.
you really suck. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
what kind of mood you're in, but
But get
this is
over
not how
it.
you handle it. Like, so you've never had a girl be mad at you before? Like, you really don't know what to do right now? You're just gonna double down? I think I think there's a lot of things going on. I think he's mad at production. I think he's mad at the whole game. Because did you
Mm-hmm.
notice he took his mic off? Like, I think he was like
Yeah,
kind
for
of
the
done.
preview for next week.
Yeah. So like I think he's just mad and doubling down, but it's not helping his situation by acting like that.
Yeah, he didn't know he would get this exposed in real time, I guess. And like
No,
have to
I
keep
don't think he
answering
did.
for it, which that's on
Yeah.
you.
He's
And
like, I just did the I love you thing. I don't have anything else. I don't
what,
have
I
any
gotta
other
apologize for a
moves.
handshake now? And it's like,
Now I'm
yeah.
gonna have to propose to her.
We're gonna have to be married by the end of this.
I'm gonna have to impregnate her or something for her to stay with me at this point.
I
It's
love it
crazy.
because Leah's like, do you want me to yell at him? Like,
Yeah.
kind
Kaylor
of.
just sits there looking mad, but no, he doubles down, and I'm like, Aaron, you literally suck. I also feel like it's probably embarrassing for him to like have to show like watch this in front of everybody too. I'm trying to like understand him a little bit here. Like
I
I
mean, I
get why
get
you
why
would do
he's
that.
annoyed, but like, you did it. So, like, you can only
Yeah.
really be mad at yourself. But it was funny too, because I clocked that Kaylor's low key, like, she's kind of like a sponge. Or like, she kind of just like, whatever you say to her, she'll just like think it or repeat it. Like, she kind
Oh
of was
yeah.
that way when it's like, which we'll get to that clip where her and Liv are talking to Aaron about, or talking to Rob about the Andrea vote, and they're like, "Yeah." Liv is like, "She totally like was for Andrea," and Taylor was like, "Yeah, she was rooting for it." And then like in this
Yeah.
instance, Leah was like, "And he's just sitting there eating his popcorn," and then like a second later, he's just eating his popcorn.
You're
She
right.
just
She
kind of like,
kind of
yeah.
reacts how everybody else is reacting.
Yeah, because even you know, look, and we love the speech, but at the ceremony, she didn't really want to give that speech telling off Aaron. And that's why when she sat down, she was like, "Did I do good?" Like she's kind of like trying to like
Mm.
reassure them, and then because quickly she folded it, like right
I think
after.
I mean,
It's
the girls
hard.
definitely hyped her up to be like, nah, you got to give it to him in a
Yeah.
speech, Kaylor. You got to say what's on your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right. She doesn't really like stand on her own.
She doesn't.
I get it though. Like sometimes I'm making an argument and some like, when you're mad at somebody, you discuss it with someone else, they bring up a good point, and you're like, yeah, that is a good point. But it kind of tracks a little bit. I have to watch her more closely to see if she does it more often.
There's
But
one
like,
instance in this next one that's kind of funny. That's not really
oh,
like that,
really?
but Twitter was
Well,
pointing it
here,
out.
I was just gonna say, word of advice to anybody: when you're wrong and you know you're wrong, the best approach is to say sorry immediately before the person even confronts you. Oh my gosh, Kaylor, that clip is really bad. I'm so sorry. I know the handshakes were our thing. I shouldn't have done that with somebody else, with another girl. Like, I see, like, I know the handshake matters to you, and I'm really sorry about that. And she wouldn't say shit to you, Aaron. If
No.
you just ate it, take your
Yeah,
lumps.
but he
You
won't.
know, he won't. Anyway, next, the boys pick bitch perfect. And this is Rob asking Liv and Kaylor about the backseat comment. Uh, they both say that she was rooting for Andrea to leave. Liv is laying it on thick, like, no, she was rooting for her heavy. She was giving us reasons, whatever, whatever, and that she heavily swayed the vote.
Hmm.
So obviously Leah's pissed. She's like, really, Liv? I heavily swayed it. And then Liv defends herself and she's like, no, but like you did. And then, you really did. And then Serena and Kaylor are like, no, she didn't. Notice how Serena and Kaylor say, no,
Yeah,
she
they were like,
didn't.
it was all three of us. And
Yeah.
like,
But then Liv was like, but then you're going around saying you had no involvement. So what am I supposed to say
why
to
the
that? And it's
fuck
like,
are you bringing that back up?
mm-mm.
And then it was funny too, because even during it, after the whole like Kaylor said like she was rooting for Andrea, Leah was like, rooting for Andrea is crazy, Kaylor. And Kaylor was like,
Yeah,
yeah, it was.
it
And then,
was.
but then it's like
Leah's
this
big mad.
big mad. She's like, Liv, shut the fuck up. And Kaylor's like, stop saying shut the fuck up. That's so disrespectful. And then they're going all back and forth. And then Leah's like, up there in the balcony. And she like points to the balcony. And let's say, okay, my finger's here. This is
Mm-hmm.
Kaylor's face. Kaylor all of a sudden goes,
No, she flinched like 2 seconds too late. It
that's
was
the
like
thing.
point, and then she put
Exactly.
her. I think she put both her hands
She's
up,
like,
right?
and
Oh,
yes, she did
Kaylor, I
something like
hate
that.
Kaylor.
And then it was literally like two, like you said, 2 seconds after she even did it. And Serena was like, don't
Mm-hmm.
get crazy. Like, don't be dramatic. And she's like, get your finger out of my face. And Leah's like, you're giving white woman scared. Shut up. And then low
True.
key, because it was like, it really wasn't in her face. And
Like, she
even,
flinched in everything. She was doing the most.
yes, and like 2 seconds out, like it was crazy.
It
And then
was.
JaNa goes, you guys are better than that. And then Liv starts to snap on her a little bit. She's like, what do you mean? I didn't do anything. What do you mean? What are you saying? And like, am I the one starting this? And she's like, no, I'm just saying, like, both of you are better than this. And she's like, but what do you mean?
No,
Like, what's your point?
I feel like Liv did kind of start it because they were having a conversation and then Liv doubles down and is like, but what about her saying she didn't have a hand in it? That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about this private conversation you had with Rob before
Yeah,
any of that happened. Like, Liv is not owning her lumps. Yes,
no,
but Leah also being on 10 doesn't help the situation. You're not being calm, so you're pissing Liv off now.
yeah.
Like, I feel like Leah started it, Liv stirred it, and it wasn't good.
They're both very reactionary people.
Yeah.
So it's just
Yeah.
never good. But
And I think it's stupid because Kaylor and Serena defend Leah and Liv still won't accept it. And then the whole like flinching thing, that was just stupid. Serena, I thought she said like she isn't gonna do anything. Like, are you serious? Like, looking
yeah,
at
she
Kaylor like,
did.
what?
She's like, what do you mean? And then when Liv was kind of coming at JaNa, Serena goes, okay, don't come at JaNa now. And Kaylor's like, we're
Yeah.
not coming at JaNa. And then she's like, I'm not even talking to you. Shut up.
They talk more, but they don't show the rest of this. So maybe they resolved it. But I noticed they were talking more. But all we see really is after JaNa talks, Leah's upset and she's
Yeah.
crying.
I'm sure they made up. That's their
Oh.
dynamic. They make up. They'll be
They
fine.
do. But I'm just mad at Liv because it's like, you guys resolved this. So did you not mean what you said when
I
you
guess
guys had your
not.
little heart to heart and all four of you sat down and talked about it? Anyway.
Yeah. Well, the next
Oh
one,
boy.
the guys choose the wingman of Casa Street. And
Why
it
would
was
they
like,
choose that?
way to dig the hole. And this is basically just like, a highlight reel of Kendall encouraging all the guys in Casa, mainly
Mm-hmm.
Kordell, after Kordell was feeling bad about the lip gloss make out with Daia. And he's like, no, bro,
Mm-hmm.
this is what you should be doing, bro. Like, this is great, bro. And then it shows him talking to Daniela, and he's like, this is awesome. Like, he's never acted like this with anyone. Like, this is so good. Like, I love this. You guys are getting nasty, and I love it. Huh. And then, like, during the game, he's like hyping them up. And then after the makeout game, he's talking to Cordell. He's like, this is great. What Daia has shown you in 3 days is so much more than Serena's ever showed you.
Light years more.
Light years. And he's like freaking out. He's like, oh
Nicole's like,
gosh.
not light years.
Nicole's like, Kendall,
Oh
fuck. And
God.
Serena's like, I knew he was gonna say stuff like this. And like a joke's a joke, but maybe he should just learn to shut up.
Yeah,
And
she said
then
like he needs to know that it's okay to shut up.
yes. And she's basically just telling him, like, you're messy. Like, what is wrong with you? And he's like, what should I say? And Liv is like, you're 28 years of age, so maybe apologize. And he's like, maybe I shouldn't have said it. And then she's just like, he's been
Yeah.
saying this like since he's gotten back. Like, so like
Yep.
she wasn't surprised. But I
I,
wish we heard more what Kaylor thought too.
yeah. Yeah,
Because
because we just see their reactions. They didn't really say a lot. Maybe they did and we didn't see it. But yeah, Kendall
they're
tried to
probably trying
like
to
double
keep that
down.
Kendall winner. So they were like, let's not go too deep.
Let's not go too hard on Kendall.
Hmm.
Serena looked mortified and Nicole looked very embarrassed.
Yes, because Nicole
Um,
even told her, I didn't know he said all that. And she's like, I know, but
yeah. No, the scene where he's like getting behind Daia for the game and like humping her, and the guys were like lifting him up to do it. I was like, I don't remember seeing this either. It was very like, I mean, it was a game, but it was just real
it was just
extra.
too much. I guess they had to be extra to try to win, but it was a lot. It was like, okay,
Yeah.
y'all. Mm.
Yeah. The girls win and they pick Wet Hot American Summer. This is Aaron when he's making out with Daniela. So the clip that Kaylor got, because she announces it. This is the clip that I got.
But
I did that a little too well.
that
Oh
was, I was
shit.
like, Kayla, is that you?
Uh,
Oh,
he's
but
rubbing Daniela's feet. Oh, what are you gonna say?
oh no, I was just gonna say, but they showed the makeout this time, and she's like, but I didn't get
Yeah.
this.
I didn't get this part. It's Aaron holding Daniela on his lap, like flirting with her. They make out for a long ass time. And then he
Intense
says he
makeout.
can't stand. After she's like, oh, I don't know. They were talking. He's like, I can't stand up for a while. Basically,
Yeah.
he's got a boner. He can't stand up. And then he asks her to take a shower, which is so crazy. Because at the beginning of this episode or last episode, he told her that the shower comment came because everybody was joking about the shower.
Hmm.
And it's not. You asked her to take a shower with you in the heat of this moment where you were really
Yes.
feeling her.
Mm.
Aaron's a
Messy.
snake.
No, just really caught in a lie. And I hope Kaylor really clocked that he like
Yeah,
blatantly lied. Like he just
right.
lied.
Because she
Like,
didn't catch it the first time when he said peck, but then moved to make out.
mhm. So she, I,
He's
and
covering his face.
yes, Nicole looks mortified. Serena looks like she's about to cry. And then
No,
this
they
is,
all are like
yeah,
hands over face, shocked.
and then Kaylor just is like,
Oh, wait, I missed a part.
oh
Sorry.
yes, oh no,
Daniela is in the
oh
dressing room
yes,
with the girls and says, like, he's open, but he's like crazy open. And so we
considering
see
Kaylor's
Kaylor.
connection.
Mm-hmm. And so we see Kaylor basically said she feels dumb. He says, he's like, I'm sorry, I fucked up. And just shuts down. And I'm like, I hate you.
She's like, I don't even have any tears left to cry at this point. And then it cuts to her confessional. It's just really sucks. Like, I can't believe it. And I'm like,
I'm sure she's exhausted. And that's when he's like, yeah, I'm sorry. I fucked up. I'm
yeah.
sorry.
And Daniela just looks
Uh,
like mortified. And I'm like, girl, oof.
you're being real
But that's
messy.
why I'm
Sorry,
like,
Daniela.
Daniela, you knew he was acting bad. And I get it. He should be the one. But you weren't even letting Kaylor know a little bit. I
Nope,
don't
you
know.
didn't tell her the truth. And this is also why people feel like you got passed from person to person. Because unfortunately, this show doesn't show everything. It doesn't. You're not going
It
to get that
doesn't.
much airtime, girl.
I know. In the next one, the girls choose. She's just not that
Oh
into you. And they
boy.
knew it was going to be about Serena and Kordell.
I really thought that these clips were just going to be about Casa, and they're all over the place.
They are. This one I thought was funny though. And I was like, it's
It's
from
so
the
funny.
first few days where she's like, the
Yeah.
thing is, it's just like the conversation is not intellectually stimulating. Like, I asked him, like, what are your long-term goals? And he was like, what do you mean? And I was like, your goals long term. And then he was
He
like, oh,
did
I
say
want to
that.
do like sponsorships. And I'm like, okay, what
Mm-hmm.
kind? And he's like, Cheez-Its. And he's like, wait, did I say that? And it's like, you did. And then Leah's like,
Mm.
wait, why are you guys moving up to be my favorite couple? Like, I love this, but I want something different for you. And Leah,
How did she say those two things in the same moment? Did
she's
I hear her
confused
right?
too because Leah's like, oh, why did I say that?
Yeah.
And then it's just them kind of clowning it, just like
Mm-mm.
Serena's just like, I want to jump someone's bones, but like people do grow on me. And
Ah.
Cordell's just like, yeah, yeah, I guess.
He doesn't
You
really
know,
say anything. He's just quiet. And then I don't know. Kendall has a weird nickname for him. I think he's like, "How's it going, Cordy?" or "How's it
yeah.
going, Deli?" I don't know what he
I'm
called
like,
him.
it wasn't even bad because even Serena stood up. She's like, it could have been worse, but this was before we really knew you, to be fair.
Yeah, I do wish she said sorry though. I don't think she
Yeah.
did.
You
But I
know,
don't think she's ever gonna say sorry to Cordell. He doesn't deserve it. I'm
too soon
sorry.
for a sorry. That was her version of a sorry?
Yeah, and all the guys are looking at him like, "See, we told you, man." And it's like, bro, this is from so early
It's
on. It's not
literally
like
they first
Kendall.
met.
Literally, it's not like Kendall who was talking shit 2 minutes ago. This was
Right.
like very, very, very early on, and he
Mm.
definitely was talking stupid. How do you not know what long-term goals are? This is bad though, Brandon. We're so biased because when the guys talk shit, we're like they suck. When the girls talk shit, we're like, but it was justified. I feel like we're
Because we're
contradicting
against the
ourselves, but
patriarchy.
we
We
are.
support women's rights and women's
And women's
wrongs.
wrongs, and that's just what it
And
is.
men few and far between. Will we feel bad? We felt bad for Cordell when she left him in the game. We
We
did.
did. We did. You're right. You're right.
And
Kendall, I can't compare this situation to Kendall because he was really just being messy. This is Serena talking to her friend about her first impressions of this guy.
we ride at dawn for our girls. Speaking
She didn't
of,
call.
you need to watch Hannah Berner's comedy special on Netflix called We Ride at Dawn. Hannah Berner was on Summer House and she's part of Giggly Squad podcast. And it's really good. And I think you would like it.
Bet we should watch it together. Movie
I'll watch it with you, if you want to hang out sometime.
night. Yes, since my foot is broken.
I know, right? You're like, I'm not
Um,
going anywhere.
this last one made me so mad. Again, I don't
Same.
know what production is on. I'm actually thinking about it more. I have some theories. But we'll talk about it after this. Well, actually,
Mhm.
let me say it now before I forget. I feel like with the situation where they're kind of throwing out Serena, they're trying to like throw out Leah. I think they're trying to like add fuel to the fires behind some suspicions that the guys have and some suspicions that the girls have, because like for in this situation they're really trying to like make the guys feel like their suspicions are right, like, see man, Serena never liked you, and yeah, see, I thought Leah was wrong in that moment for sending whatever
Yeah.
Andrea home. Like I think they're just trying to stir the pot and justify some suspicions, even the Odell comment, you know.
hmm
But I hate that they're doing it. But I'm just like, what's the motive? And I think it's just to stir shit up more.
Yeah. For me, the Serena one was more lighthearted, but this one, it was just weird because I feel like they should have shown him leaving her for Andrea and
Yeah,
him doing the like, I'm sorry, because just showing the aftermath, it looks crazy.
it does. I mean, I feel like they should have shown the whole discussion. But
Yeah.
like, yeah. So the boys pick the Devil Wears Overalls. Why? I don't fucking know. It's it's really bad, guys. It's so fucking bad. But I was like, as soon as it started playing, I was laughing. I was like, this was my favorite moment
No,
in
like
like
it
all
was
of Love
funny. It's
Island.
crazy watching it out of
Yeah.
context. But like if you
Yeah,
know the context, you're like,
it's
no,
so
like
much
this
better.
was look, and not to
Gold.
say it was right, but it was like, uh, like he's fine. Like he did her dirty. But
He did.
anyways,
And she's venting. She's venting
yes.
here. But basically, this is Leah mocking Rob. The girls are walking up the stairs and are like, these boys are bitches. These boys are bitches. And she's basically just saying he's being theatrical, crying like a bitch on the floor. While she should be the one crying. Um and then Kendall says, wait, what? Kendall says you didn't do shit. Why did I write that down?
I don't know.
Anyway. Um, oh, this is at the end. Sorry. These are the
Yeah.
people's reactions. She was basically mocking Rob, saying that he didn't do shit, he was crying and all this stuff. Kendall basically was like, why were you saying that? Like, that's really mean, guys. Like, all the men are quiet, and Rob looks like kind of upset. And the girls laugh at first, which is makes it worse. And then Aaron starts to argue for Rob, and he was like, he was opening up, and you're gonna mock him for being emotional and opening up to you. And I was like, oh, is that what it was?
Oh,
Is
is
that what
that
it
what it
was?
was? And then Leah's like, no, like I wasn't upset that he was emotional. It was that he was trying to make me feel bad because he had to choose between me or Andrea. And I was trying
Mm-hmm.
to open up about how that made me feel. And it was like, oh, so what? Clearly it wasn't about that. It was because he didn't want to hurt anybody. And da 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 da.
I
And then
was like, not
Serena
you
goes,
speaking for
you
him.
you have a lot. You're defending. You're going to bat for Aaron for Rob, but you haven't gone to bat for Kaylor at all during this.
And
And
then
then
he was quiet for the rest of the time. And
he
I was like, for
was. He
real
was like,
though,
of
like,
course,
why
because
are
he's
you
getting
doing this?
emotional. I'm going to defend my friend. And he's like, well, he could speak for himself. He
He
could speak for
can.
himself. Serena
And so
clocked
Leah
it.
apologizes and she was like, look, I'm sorry. It was very mean. I am sincerely, truly, truly, deeply sorry. I was just very hurt that you picked Andrea. I was hurt by the situation. I feel like she could have said more, but she didn't. And he basically was like, I just don't trust you. Like, I understand that you are sorry, but like, yeah, I was embarrassed for crying. I made myself look like a fool. Like, I made myself like an idiot. And what's crazy is you didn't even comfort me, and I felt alone and like I felt sad. And so, yeah, I cried, but I forgive you. I just wanted to have my
I
peace. And I was like, do you forgive her after eating her up like that? Do you forgive her?
I know. He's like,
Yo,
People in the villa have asked if we could get back together, and it's like, I just don't trust you. And like, when I was crying, I was in a villa with 12 people, and I felt so alone. And I'm like,
that's
shut the
laying it on
fuck
thick,
up.
Pop. Why'd you
Literally,
feel alone? You just made the girl of your dreams. The fuck?
Paige from Giggly Squad, she was to another podcast. She was talking about it and she was like, he totally gaslit her and flipped the situation and
Yep.
made it. And when men cry, never trust it. That's for girls.
Mm,
And I'm like,
that's
okay, maybe
funny.
not that. But in this
Not
instance,
that,
it
but
is
in this instance,
manipulative.
yeah,
Valid.
because okay, I was like trying to think back. Leah was like approaching him and she's like, I'm upset. And he's like, I get it, I get it. And she's like, I'm just upset because you like waited to have that moment. You didn't tell me earlier. And that's when he starts to cry and do all these dramatics. He walks away, sits on the ground, then comes back. And then she's
He
like,
goes in
okay,
the
I just wanted to
pool.
say, yeah, like no, he comes back to try to talk to her. She tries to talk to him, and he's like, "Why don't you ask me how I'm fucking feeling?" Like he shut her down completely. Leah was
Hmm.
not wrong. Rob was acting like a little bitch, didn't let her say anything really before he jumped into the pool. So of course, when she goes upstairs, she's gonna be upset and vent
When
to
I
her
saw
girls
him crying like a bitch on the
on
floor,
the
I
floor.
immediately got the ick. Fuck you, bitch. I've been so fucking behaved, and what did that get me? Nothing. And I'm like, this is when we start to see a new Leah.
It is. I mean, it's tough because it's like I get that she was venting, she was bad. It is mean.
Yeah,
But who gets to hear someone vent? That doesn't happen often, you know?
that's
But
true.
she could be a little more like self-aware that people can hear you, girl. This thing is recorded in 4K. Because then she's like, she feels disgusted with herself. And I'm like, I guess that's a good feeling. Like, at least you're not like these guys just deflecting, like, you're acknowledging that you did something wrong. But man, I just hated this. I was like, production really wants Rob to feel like he was justified just so he could get beat up when he gets home.
I guess because look at the internet. no one was on Rob's side then, and they're not on his side now. Like, even if they're
No.
anti-Leah, they're not necessarily for Rob.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I don't know. It was an odd choice.
It was a very odd choice. Because even in After Sun, weren't they saying like Rob was being very theatrical,
Yeah,
right?
I feel like they were.
So
They
I'm
were making
like,
fun of him. They were like, this
they
is weird.
were.
And
So
like,
why are they doing this? Maybe another movie clip is gonna be the first half.
maybe, because that is weird that they didn't even show him crying or that situation at all. Because I feel like if they
No.
would have seen him snap at her before crying, like it would have been different. But it was really just like the aftermath, so it looked crazy.
Yeah. No, this
Yeah.
was some reverse psychology manipulation, and y'all gave Rob the upper hand to look like a good guy, and I really hate it.
But what Leah did, which Aaron refuses to do, is she owned it. And
She
she
did.
was just like, I'm sorry, like I'm disgusted with myself, like you said, and just like
Yeah.
she took accountability. So like we can always count on Leah to do that at least.
Yeah, no, I think that Leah is very, very self-aware. Like she's not gonna try to sugarcoat something when she shouldn't. But them immediately laughing is kind of crazy. I mean, it was really funny though. I
It
don't
was
know. I don't
awkward.
know. I get both sides. Not really Rob's side because what?
I get the guy's side from just watching it and not knowing
And
like
no,
context.
right, and just knowing that he was crying.
Yeah. So it's just like I get
It's
why
like
they
you
were I
just
don't get Aaron like perking up, but I get why they were like, what the fuck was that? And during all this,
yeah.
because even after the live argument, with Leah, Miguel was like, I'm seeing this side to Leah that I'm not sure. Like I've never had a partner like that. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, Miguel. What was it? Watch What
I
Crappens
mean,
was like, what are you running for Congress? Like, what do you mean?
because what did he say? Like, I've never had a girl talk to me the way she's talking or something like
Yeah,
that.
like
I
I've
guess
never
he's
seen a
just
girl
like,
like talk like that, like get angry like that, I guess, that he's been with.
you
And I'm
haven't.
like,
You sure?
we'll see.
I
Uh,
mean, I get what he's saying, but I mean, Leah pops off. She's got a little bit of a temper.
she does. So
No,
like,
she had not a little temper. She's got a temper, and she will cut your neck off before you have the chance to explain yourself, which isn't great, you know?
yeah, she doesn't, but she'll
Um,
always own it afterwards at least.
yes,
So there's
yes.
that. Um,
So next movie night, that's the end of episode 26, and then we get a preview for the
yes.
next movie night.
Yes, movie night part two, and it looks like I remember they showed Miguel and Sierra making out, which okay. And then the main thing is it looks like they're showing more about Aaron because he walks off and
Yeah.
takes his mic off.
Yeah, Aaron gets pissed and leaves, I think even before the game is over. And did they
Hmm.
show Kordell more? Because I thought they were gonna show the Kordell and Daia clip, like the whole thing.
They probably do. I don't remember seeing. I'm blanking on the preview, but I would assume they would show at least more of the lip gloss one. Do you like
Yeah.
Carmax?
Yes, at least that one. I
Uh,
gotta go back and look and see what the titles of each of the next clips are, but we'll have that and we'll have After Sun, and somebody
yes.
should be going home soon too.
It should be because Ariana said it was going to be a
Friday.
bloodbath, but she also mentioned a vote. So I'm like, is the vote going to open tomorrow? And then it's just like a 24-hour, like, what? How is the vote?
They
I feel like we
usually
should
leave it
have
open
gotten
for
it by
an
now.
hour.
Yeah.
So maybe it's gonna be, yeah, tomorrow. Maybe after tomorrow's episode, there's gonna be a vote. But usually they put a notification on the app like
You vote.
make sure you register to vote. What was your favorite? Oh, they have all the movie titles. Bet. Okay, so there's one called Gone Girl, Forgetting Leah Marshall.
Oh, yeah. I remember seeing that one.
Um, Fatal Altercation. Is that what that says?
Uh,
Challengers and
Fatal
Clueless.
Attraction.
Fatal Attraction. Okay. So we have Fatal Attraction, Challengers, Clueless, and Forgetting Leah Marshall and Gone Girl. Those are the 5 clips that are left.
And Crazy Stupid Casa. Because I don't think they
Oh, I
did
thought they.
that one right.
Oh no, I don't think they did. You're right. Yeah.
No, they
So
showed the wingman
6.
of Casa Street. So we got 6 more. So that's fun. That should be interesting. This movie night, anxiety. I would
Yeah.
be
Fatal Altercation. What's that about?
attraction.
Oh, Thinking it said altercation.
Altercation, who fought?
It's really small, and I just see an
It
A and
is.
an
No, it
I-O-N.
is. It's like at the top right, very small.
I promise I could read, guys, and I know what idol means.
She
Anyways,
does. Uh, but these were some jam-packed episodes.
they were. Thanks for hanging in there, y'all.
Yeah, y'all. But you know what? We'll be back next time to discuss the next three. We'll see if they're as jam-packed as these. These episodes just keep getting more dramatic and like just I didn't expect this season to take us here. But you know what? I'm happy
I
about it.
didn't either. I feel like it's kind of not as exciting as it was before, but we'll see what happens.
We'll see, because it's nearing the end. But yeah, we'll see. I'm not quite sure what to expect. And they're bringing two new bombshells that I'm like, how are they even going to fit in? Like, who cares?
Keep forgetting about them.
I
Yeah, I
know.
think the guys might go for Cassie. Who do you think would go for Cassie? Miguel?
Probably Rob. She said she was into Rob, but she seemed pretty open. So maybe Miguel if he's over Leah.
Yeah.
Um, the guy, if Catherine's still there, her, but maybe
Mm-hmm.
someone else. I don't know.
Yeah.
But with that being said, that's it for today's episode. Thank y'all so much for listening. Make sure to rate and review us. Give us 5 stars on Apple
Five
Podcasts and
stars.
Spotify. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you'd like to see us in the flesh talk about it. And we're at the Shade of It All podcast. You can follow us on Instagram and TikTok at the Shade of It All podcast. We still post fun clips. And we'll talk to you next time. Bye.
Bye.